I'll film right after. Are you watching the Crawford fight tonight?
I don't know. I've been neglecting the family. My family doesn't exist while fights are on, so
Yeah.
to do that again to watch boxing, I might be asking for a little too much.
Yeah. Mine's the same way. Mine's like, it's like boxing is not really what we. It's like boxing. Like I get the MMA thing, but the boxing thing, when I worked the Diaz, thing, the Diaz fight with Masvidal.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, boxing? What do you think about that? I'm like,
at least that main event delivered, though.
Yeah. But the young kid Kermel was awesome, man. I was talking with him. He was so just confident, poised, in the undercard, and then the Sean Garcia and Amato Vargas fight was a good fight too. There was a lot of tension between the two of them throughout the week. It was overall a good thing. Hey, I'm gonna log on to our YouTube channel here also and just see kind of
where we're live, boys.
Yeah, we're live.
Up to the chat.
All right. Hey. Let's see.
Maybe let them know who our friend is.
Yes, maybe. Hey guys, man, I'm here with a special guest, man, Angelo from We Want Picks. He's from that over there on his YouTube channel. He's actually competing right now with his own channel. He's got his boy over there doing his live stuff, but he's talking mainly bets. We're gonna have some fun. We're just gonna chat it up back and forth. But if you guys haven't subscribed to them over at We Want Picks, make sure you guys subscribe to them over there. They're awesome, man. Not gonna lie, man. I kind of steal some of your guys' bets every once in a while. So, I give a listen. I'm like, I don't know if I like that one. Yeah, you know what? That was a good one. But, Angelo, your boy just came up short on the dog pick, though, is what you were saying. Who was it and what did he pick?
Yeah, he went with, if you guys don't know, Jacob does an underdog lock of the week. So the term is lock of the week, but it's an underdog every time. And he went with Loopy. Honestly, a good pick, and it looked decent during that fight, except those two takedowns were those were the difference. Mackenzie Dern had a 15% takedown accuracy, 1-5.
Yeah.
And somehow took down Loopy Godinez twice. Yeah, it's tough.
You know what? I think Keto and I were talking about it. I think the judges were a little swayed by the extra motion in the ocean. You know what I mean?
Could be.
When Mackenzie's in there. So, they're all male judges. They're fall victim to the prey that's out there. It's out there.
I saw somebody tweeted all the weigh-in photos from the event, right? Yeah. And it was like 100,000 views, 200,000 views, 130,000 views. And then the Mackenzie Dern Loopy video was like 11 million views. It's like, you creeps.
Yeah. This is just male nature, man. Let's not deny it anymore. Let's just call it what it is. We understand. And the thing is, she can fight. That's the other thing that makes it fun is she can fight.
Oh,
so I'm not
and
mad
tough
at it.
as hell.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely tough as hell. So I'm not mad at it at all. I think, it's marketability. That's really what it comes down to. If you're a promoter, that's what you're thinking. You're thinking, all right, this is what I need. Keto comes up. Hey guys, you guys are following us and everything, hit some questions up too while we got some time in between. El Kukui's coming up next. As most of you guys know, I fought El Kukui. He kind of led me into my way of retirement, and I was at 37 years old. Kind of all right, this was kind of the eye-opening steps for me of okay, it's kind of getting close to my time now. That was the first time I had felt in a long time. It was the first time in a long time. I felt like the second Gilbert fight I truly lost. I knew I had lost. But outside of that, the fights in between, I felt like I should have won those fights. The third Gilbert fight, I felt like I should have won. This was the fight that I said, I basically just walked away from the fight going, reevaluating my career.
Yeah.
Reevaluating hey, it's 30, you're 37. You don't have much left in you. If you can't beat him, you're probably not making a run. Another run at the title. Sure, it might be there, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. And sure enough, it was. It was a lot more difficult. And and just understanding where you're at. I don't know if Tony maybe.
No, he doesn't have that same self-awareness.
He doesn't have that same self-awareness. He's just out there I look. So another fighter brought this up just recently about they don't know what they're going to do. It was Justin Poirier. He was talking about. He's like, look, this has been my life for 40, for 20 years. I don't. Got to be honest. I don't want to give it up, but I do know it's time. It's getting close, but I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, unless you own a gym, let me fix my monitor here. Unless you own a gym,
and it's the worst.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But unless you own a gym or have some sort of other business established, like Dustin Poirier's made enough money, as long as he doesn't blow it, he'll be fine. But for most people, if you didn't set yourself up in that, I mean, what do you have? Like you were at you were what, top 1%, right?
Yeah.
90%, go back and forth, make a couple of bucks here and there, maybe work their way up, get a little bit of ranking, and then it's sort of a steep fall off. In that, 8 years, 7 years of like where it could really matter, if you don't set yourself up for the next stage, I don't know what you do, because you're right. It's your entire life. It's your identity. It's what do you do after?
Exactly. That's exactly where we're at right now. Give me, is there any questions up in there you got for us, George?
Nas Hussein says, "Hi Josh, question for you. You fought Tony. He's on a 7-fight skid. Should he call it the end of a day? Is it over for him after this?"
Yeah, I mean, we just pretty much had that, and I actually kind of do think he should call it a day. I think it's kind of that time, and it's nothing against him at all. But I mean, we saw it a little bit with Josh Koscheck. He lost 5 in a row in the UFC. Went over to Bellator. I think he won one and then lost one. It's just one of those things where Father Time's undefeated. We know that. Angelo, you had a little sparring match, right, against your boy that
Jacob,
you did the show with. Yeah, and but it's how did it feel being out there, just hitting each other, wrestling and grappling?
Well, I've always moved like a cat, so for me, like, didn't skip a beat, not a problem at all. I'm large, but like fantastic shape.
Wait, when you say like a cat, like an old lion that just doesn't move really?
Yeah, like that grumpy cat that sits like this with the the face. No, but my wife, the whole time, she's like, "This is a bad idea. This is stupid. You guys are stupid. Why? This is so dumb. Why?"
Your wife sounds very intelligent, by the
way. She was like, "This is so dumb. What are you doing?" And then when it was over, she's like, "Let's go out to eat." I'm like, "I need about 12 Tylenol real quick, and then we could go out to eat."
Yeah. Well, then I mean, for me, I would have taken like a pack of gummies and just be like, okay, so this is over.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, you and I, it's so, I would love to tell a story. Let's do it. We'll do it after this fight, but we'll tell a story about how you and I met. We live here now in Texas and how it all came about. But Tony, though, I do think it's time for him to get close to wrapping it up. He's somebody that, he had the skill level. He's fighting this fight at 170. What do you think about that, Angelo?
I think he's I don't know if it matters on his side, meaning he's never been a bully. It's never been part of his game plan to be stronger than anybody. No. So he's just going to try to be faster and move around more. But it helps Michael Chiesa because he is going to be a bully. Just move forward, be a little bigger, drag you to the ground. And this might be the most boring fight of the card, unfortunately, because of the Chiesa side.
Yeah, I think what you're going to find is if Chiesa does get this thing to the ground, like Tony, I think his body is so banged up. He's not the same grappler he was.
Yeah, he's not going to move well.
10, 15 fights ago, 10 or 12 fights ago. You can tell by the way he does his shots back and forth, left and right. He just doesn't move as well as he used to. I mean, that's sad. They did a video of him from his 10, 15 fights ago, and then progressively over the years, he doesn't shoot his double leg back and forth. He doesn't do his little thing, his entry anymore, because his knees are just not what they used to.
All banged up.
Yeah.
Well, and he was a collegiate wrestler too, which a lot of people completely forget because his striking was so dangerous and his submissions were so slick. But he was the D1 or D2 wrestler.
Yeah, and I also too at this age, I think what happens is you see it too. Like with Chuck Liddell was a good friend of mine, and just one day your chin you get tested too many times and it's over. I'm not saying that he's got a soft chin because he still takes some nasty shots. But what happened with him with Michael Chandler, and then the amount of damage he took in the Justin Gaethje fight. I took it the Justin Gaethje fight, and I go, that's exactly where I was in my career when you and I fought. I mean, that was the most damage I had taken since probably the Clay Guida fight years and years before that. And it was one of those fights like, damn, man.
What am I doing?
It should be a reality check. What am I doing? Like, this is, I mean, I still, I tell people, I'm not actually balding. I just have scars from Tony Ferguson's fight. That's all I got. I've got this here. There was 28 stitches, I believe, right there.
Yikes.
And then I've got 2 Mercedes-Benzes right there in the middle. So they see that's why it's a little thin. That's why I keep this a little bit longer than normal in the front. See,
I'm not balding either. I just cut it like this, and then I thin it out right there. Just, I'm 40. I got to look 40. So I just do that just to, I'm not trying to show up the neighbors.
You can't talk about it. You got to show it, though. Let me see it. Let me see the hair. Let me see the hair. Oh, yeah. It looks amazing. It looks, hat head.
In my defense, I do have and people call me fat all day long on my account, so this isn't gonna help. I do have a fatty tumor right here that I gotta get.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, like a lipoma.
Oh,
I have to, but then they gotta
okay.
They gotta shave your head, and it's not. I'm not dying. It's on the outside, but that doesn't help with the hair situation.
It's pretty much already thinned down to shave. You might as well just get it done.
Well, that's what I've been it's just a slow prep process for me. I'm like, let me help him out. I'll thin it out right there, and then you can go ahead and cut it out of me.
You know what's funny is I actually thought that Chiesa would be the bigger fighter. Seeing him sitting them in the cage together, he's not. They're basically about the equally sized. Because when I fought Tony, sure, he was tall. One thing that did throw me off by Tony is when I shook his hands at the weigh-ins, he's got massive hands.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So like when he shook my hand, his fingers wrapped almost all the way around my hand. So when I fought him and he got wrist control with, when I was in his guard, it was that position of like, damn, there it is. And I had the under on the 2.5 for the finish. So it was even money. I'm like, there's just no way you can pass that up. Because he was Chiesa was a minus 600.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I'm not going to take that minus 600, to do this. I might as well take the even money on the, on the under of 2.5. I think he's got a good chance of getting the submission. Bobby Green was able to get the submission. I mean, it's just not, yeah, there it is.
Oh, your stream's ahead of mine. I'm like, what the hell's Josh talking about? And then,
right.
No, I had to hit I must have paused it at some point. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that didn't. You know what's so funny? So obviously, we all know how good Tony Ferguson was. You know how good he was. You fought him in that, 12 fight stretch where it was just like, this guy's the real deal. 13
fight. Yep.
But a lot of people have not moved past that. People are still like, he's still got it. Who's Michael Chiesa to be a minus 700 favorite? It's like, it's not about Michael Chiesa. Those odds are the other side of the ticket. It's not his side that's driving it to minus 700. Like Tony Ferguson is, you mentioned the Justin Gaethje fight that changed Tony Ferguson forever. It changed him forever.
The Tony Ferguson changed me forever. And I'm okay with saying that. I think the reality is you have to look at yourself in the mirror and go, I was never the same after that fight. And right there, what I just saw with the Chiesa and the Tony thing, Tony threw a punch and he missed and he clammed up for a second. And that's how Chiesa got to the body lock. Yeah. That's what happens when you get older. You're always throwing and hesitating because you're waiting to get hit back. Because you know that the speed's not there.
Sure.
Like, you're not
especially
sure
if you've been put out as bad as he has. It's like, is
and the
it going to hold up?
The shots hurt more. So those are the kind of the problems that you're dealing with as a 37, 38, 40-year-old fighter. It's not that like you feel like you can still do everything because you're still mopping up the guys in the gym, which is fine. But when you get out there, you're going against the guys that are younger, that are putting in as much work as you. The physical strength is there. Like you're not as strong as you used to be. You're not as reactive as you used to be. And I think that we see it in him. He's just he's getting a little bit more shelled up. You can tell, like I saw when he was fighting at 55, he looked like emaciated. Like, he just looked really skinny. I mean, I would use other terms, but I don't want to get into that. But he looked like he just came out of an encampment, really. Like, he's so skinny, so lean. He was somebody that always prided himself on having great cardio, a great chin, and just pushing action, and he made a grimy fight, just a really nasty fight. Taking the gloves off.
He has to. That's 8 in a row. I mean, and it does suck to go. I mean, he's had one of the steepest drop-offs I've seen. Like, the sport's not very forgiving. There's a lot of steep drop-offs, but 13 in a row. Was supposed to fight Khabib, tripped over a cable in the parking lot, then fights Justin, finally gets like the fight. Justin Gaethje, Fight Island. Yeah. Beat real bad, has never looked like it's not a forgiving sport.
No, it's not.
There's no easy way out. Like Dustin Poirier might be able to ride off into the sunset. Robbie Lawler did. That's like the only one that comes to mind that was like, what a way to go.
Yeah. Dustin and Robbie both, I think they're being very smart about it. Both of them have made a ton of money though. Yeah. But then also too, you bring up the money thing. I tell people all the time.
To get the mic.
Yeah, here he goes. Let's listen to it. Can you tell us what he's saying there, George?
Oh, of course.
I would like to see him retire right now, only based on I don't want to see him go somewhere else. I want him to retire inside the UFC. Yeah. It's hard for me to say that he'd be a Hall of Famer. I think he should be, but I don't know what their standard is for the UFC right now in the Hall of Fame.
It is.
I can tell you this though, one of his fights will be in there.
I was going to say, fight-wise, he'll end up in there just like how Chael did with Anderson Silva.
Yeah, let's just knock that shit off. I love Chael, man, but that was a one-sided fight until the last minute, 14 or minute, something like that. Yeah.
Tony has not said a word yet.
That's what I was sitting here. Yeah.
DC's trying to convince him into retiring.
Tony doesn't look like he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Giving Michael his praises.
Yeah, he doesn't look.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's wanting to go out.
Oh, come on, man. Just do it here. You go somewhere else. You don't retire right now.
He said he's only gonna put one glove down because he wants to. He doesn't. He's
trying to
keeping
be
another
everything.
one just in case.
He always tries to be different.
So it's just one. I'm leaving UFC. I'm not retiring the sport. Is that what the one glove represents?
Well, he said he doesn't want to fight anywhere else but the UFC, so he's only gonna put one glove down.
Good for him.
No,
He's
I'm not. It
smiling.
doesn't make sense,
Good for
but-
him. Are they cheering for him? I've got
Oh,
it
yeah,
muted.
I hope so.
Good.
They booed him a little bit when he wasn't talking, but he was just emotional.
DC was talking so much. DC's my boy, man, but boy, he can really chat it up.
He's so good. He's so good at that job, though. Like he's
he is.
perfect for that because he's just funny and normal, and it's not like robotic nonsense. And he knows what he's talking about. Like DC's so good at that job.
No, I agree with you. He 100%. He makes it seem so easy because it's so relaxed. It's like, look,
Yeah.
he's also someone that doesn't dwell on when he messes up something.
Oh, he laughs
doesn't
about it
care.
and
He's
moves
like,
on.
okay,
Yeah.
whatever. He's
Yeah.
like, hey, Laura, he's like, he'll say something wrong and Laura will change. Laura Psycho will fix it. And he'll be like, oh, thanks, Laura. It's no big deal to him. He doesn't care. He's like, where a lot of fighters will be like, man, why are you stepping on me? Why are you trying to like make me look bad? He's not like that. He's like, whatever. I got it wrong.
like
Who
in-
cares?
Him and Dominic Cruz will go at it because Dominic Cruz is a bit of a don't correct me, and
No,
they'll snipe. They'll snipe.
Dom's that guy though. You hear about that all the time. People out there. But hey, let's chat about so let's talk about how we met. So I
Sure.
met Angelo. I was walking around the town that I move into now in Texas, in North Texas. I'm at a car wash. I was just there yesterday, by the way. And
nice.
I was walking by, and he's like, "Hey, are you Josh Thompson?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, yeah." And you started telling me about your podcast. And
No, I didn't mention it the first
You
time.
didn't read it? Did it?
I
Okay, what were we
refused to
talking-
mention
we
it
were
the
talking
first
about
time. I was
fights.
just talking about fights. I reminded you of your days on Blind Date. I remembered that.
We were just talking about that right before you came on. We were talking about the
Oh,
blind
really?
date thing. And it was. And I was explaining the blind date situation it was 5 days of nothing but UFC fighters for
Yeah.
that week on blind date. So there was Tim Sylvia, Tiki Goshen, Pete Spratt, myself. There was one other one. I know one was supposed to be Chuck Liddell. Chuck turned him down. But Chuck was so big of a star that Dana couldn't really do anything to him, And Dana
Yeah.
really
Deal
good
with it.
buddies.
Yeah.
So then they told Nick Diaz, you have to, like, hey, we want you to do this show. He literally told them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
After he did that, I heard they had already came, and were talking to me, and they said, hey, we want you to know that Nick turned it down, and we explained to him that this will probably be like your last fight with us. And I was like, oh. So
They bullied you into it. Yeah.
they got me in. They kind of bullied me into it. I mean, it was a cool experience,
Yeah, sure.
I don't regret it. But I was with my girl at the time, and I had to basically tell her, like, hey, I have a girl.
It's just a
like,
show. Yeah.
it's just like this, and so, but yeah, it ended up being that. So we had it was definitely a different type of thing, but that's how they scheduled that whole thing. It was funny because Tiki Goshen shows up and meets the girl. And it just so happened that it was one of his buddies' girlfriends. She was
Oh,
on the
really?
show.
Oh,
So
that's funny.
They played it off, I guess, like all having fun and stuff. But whatever. It was a lot of some of it was staged, some of it wasn't. But I did know this. I can tell you this: is that anytime you saw them talking, it was pretty much just talking on. Like that's all the talking you do. They kept you separate the whole time.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. So every time the cameras turned off, they put you in separate taxis to take.
Why
you
do
to
they
the
do
next
that?
location. Because they want to capture all.
You don't want to miss a conversation.
No,
Yeah,
they don't
I
want a
gotcha.
little backroom conversation, any of that stuff that they miss. They want to know, like, are you guys trying to schedule this to see each other and
Sure.
meet? Like, like what's going on? Are you guys going to change numbers? This and that. So
That
yeah, it
poor
ended up
woman
being-
that got stuck with Tim Sylvia. Like
Oh,
you're a
she's
decent looking
a-
guy. Tiki's a good looking guy. Pete Spratt. Who am I gonna get? And then
I
a
wish
9
I
foot
could-
sloth walks out from the back. Good luck.
Look, man, we all say that, but have you not seen Tim Sylvia's wife?
No, I have. He's
Holy
from
sh-
Maine, so I've actually seen him around the Northeast and stuff, but I've never
Bro.
seen his wife.
Bro, dime piece.
He outkicked his coverage. Good for him.
Awesome, man. It's like, I'm like, bro, I was like, bro, Tim, because Tim and I are good boys. Like, we're friends. Like, he was one of the guys that I loved hanging out with every time we were out and about for fights. Man, he's such a good dude, man. He's doing the slap stuff now. Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
Bro. I was like, dude, he way out punted the coverage, this guy.
Yeah.
Tim
she's a 20 out of 10 in Maine for sure.
Oh, man, he's a beast.
Good for him.
Man. He's a good dude. Super
fun yeah.
Very, very protective. Like anytime him and I were out and someone would try to like flip me shit, be like, hey, is there a problem? He'd like run over and walk him, stand in front of him. And, hey, he's with me. You know, like, and I was in the UFC at the time. Like I needed someone to protect me. Yeah. He was just that guy, man. He's a good dude. Love being around him. We hung out so many times in Atlantic City, a couple times in Vegas. I mean, just a fun guy to be around. He's doing the slap fight stuff now.
Actual slapping?
I don't know. Yeah.
Or the commentating. Slapping. Oh
no! He's doing the actual slap.
Oh wow, good for him.
He's not with slap fights, so I don't know. If
it's like a different organization.
Yeah, it's a different organization, but he's doing it, and whatever. So
I mean, I'm sure he's got hands like you wouldn't believe. So
I don't think he's lost because they haven't showed a video of him getting knocked out. So
yeah, that would have made the rounds if it happened for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he's a stud, man. He's a stud. He's a cool dude, and I love. There's a lot of videos he puts out too with him and his son hunting, and his son like being all excited about certain gifts that he got him, like, but it's all hunting type stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so like the average city kid doesn't understand, like, why is this kid still hyped about the new camo gear or the new, the new rifle holder? It's like, bro, because we just live different lifestyles. Like it's awesome.
I'm from Connecticut, so Connecticut's weird. It's like either New York or the woods. Like there's not, you know what I mean? Like you either live a city life or you live in the woods.
Yeah.
And so I had some exposure to woods living, but you can tell by the way I speak, I was closer to the city life. But when we moved here, I married into a real Texas family. Like my brother-in-law is a Texan. Like they eat squirrel. And so I was like, all right, let me get into shooting and hunting and all that stuff. And this past year, a couple neighbors and I really got into dove hunting. It's awesome.
I gotta go with you.
So fun.
Yeah, I just woke up one morning and all of a sudden I was like, pow, pow.
Yeah. All September to December. Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it. And I was like, what is with all the gunshots? Like I
thought we moved to a nice neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not in LA. What's going on? This is not New York. But
no, you know why it's a ton of fun. So like if you go deer hunting, you're sitting in a tree, you're not talking to anybody, you pee in a jar. It's awful. I don't know why anybody would do that.
Yeah.
Dove hunting, you get to hang out with the boys in a field. You can talk, like you're not being sneaky. No, bird flies by. Bang, 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 bang. Got it. Mm-hmm. It's a ton of fun. It's a nice, easy way into all that. I loved it.
Oh, so then okay, let's go back. We went off path.
Yeah.
We did how we met. We met you at the car wash, and then shortly after, you and I show up one day. Did we find out that our kids were in the same school at the time?
No, I just saw you walk in on like open house. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. So then we were there too. Did you see me there beforehand and then meet me at
Never.
the car wash? And you saw me at the car wash?
No, the car wash was the first. The car wash, I was like, is that Josh Thompson?
Yeah.
And then we chatted. The next time we talked was like 2 weeks later. I was at the open house at school, and then you walked in. I was like, oh,
yeah. And they were like, hey,
your kids in this class? Yeah.
Yeah, same kids, same class. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So definitely cool. So then there was that. And then all of a sudden we exchanged numbers and started texting back and forth about, hey, I'm watching fights. Hey, I've got my podcast. And hey, I follow you and this and that. Like, yeah. So it was perfect, man. And then we just realized we had a lot more to talk about than normal people. So it worked out. And then I was like, hey, I literally like right before I went on live today, I was like, I just sent you over a text. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Just watching fights.
Yeah.
Jump on with us? Yeah, sure. Let's see. He's like, I'll be competing with my own, we want picks.
I literally am competing with Jacob right now. Like he's fighting for his life over there. He's going to be on for 8 hours. And I'm like, let me go somewhere else.
What a stud though, man. Like I only do, we George and I talk about it. I'm like, look, I normally only do the co-main and main. But then because I fought Tony and I thought maybe this might be Tony's last fight, I was like, this is a good chance for me to jump on and give Tony some love and respect. I got nothing but respect for the guy, man. So, but yeah. That's
how can you not?
No, he's great, man. He's great. He's been very public about he didn't like some things I said a while back and this and that. And I was like, it's just getting time, man. I hate to break it to you. It's just getting time. He didn't like to hear that. But it's the reality is I got nothing but love for him, respect for him. He's a great fighter. He's been a great fighter.
Yeah.
It's just, father time. That's what we got to do. On this fight with the Figgy, what are you thinking?
I think I said this in our breakdowns. I think the worst thing that happened to the rest of Cheeto's career was that knee he ate from Sean O'Malley, because it was just a reminder to the whole world, you cannot knock this guy out. It is not possible to do. So now he's just going to get Nurmagomedov anytime he fights anybody. And Figgy's not huge. He's up in weight and all that stuff. But I think she's just going to wrestle the absolute crap out of him, not even engage in the striking.
Interesting. Yeah. I also think because Cheeto is someone that tends to just hang out on bottom. He doesn't really make a real effort to get back to his feet. He's cool with being in the guard, elbowing you, with the 12-6 elbows,
give up minutes
from the back position. He just gives away minutes. And those are the fights in a 3-round fight. In a 5-round fight, I say, okay, look, you can give up, a minute or two in each round and be able to still come back. But in his Rob Font fight, I think that kind of is where I saw the turn. He's somebody that's like, oh, even though I lost 4.5 minutes of this round, I can still drop you and win the round.
At the end and snag it.
And that's exactly what happened. He ended up winning like four of those rounds, because in the last probably 30 seconds to a minute of the round. And he didn't do anything before then. So
no, and I caught a lot of flack because the Cheeto fans are Cheeto fans. And I caught a lot of flack because I'm like, he's getting outstruck in all of the. Rob Font is the better striker. And that's crazy. How could you say that? Look at his face. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Look at his face. He was mangled, but he almost doubled the strikes landed. He was cleaner. The power is just too much.
John and I talk about that all the time. Big John and I. Like you look at certain fights, right? Like the Michael Bisping and Dan Henderson fight, the second one for the title, and you see look, you would have thought that Bisping lost, 10, every single round of every second of every round. He just looked like the elephant man,
mangled,
all mangled up, and just he looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid that hadn't been And so in this it's the same thing. Is there are certain fights that where you just look, the guy, you can't look at the copy strikes because it doesn't tell the real story.
No.
Significant strikes doesn't mean that enough to drop me and put me down. It just means that it touched it significantly, like the whole glove touched.
And isn't it subjective? Isn't it literally a person with a clicker that was like, I think that was significant, click.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I've worked behind closed doors with all these promotions. I don't know who those people are because I've never met one.
You've never met the clicker?
I've never met the clicker guy. I don't know where they sit. I don't know where they're at. I don't know. Whether it's the UFC, whether it's Bellator, whether it's ONE, whether it's Ryzen, doesn't matter. I've worked for a majority of them. I have no idea where the clicker's at. None.
Because it is kind of crazy because I'll do some betting and sometimes you can do significant strikes and stuff like that depending on the situation. And I'm almost like, this is subjective. Depending on who is watching, they may count, a jab is significant because they stepped in, or nope, that was a jab. Doesn't are strikes on the ground significant? It's just a guy that's like, yeah, well, that counts. That counts.
Well, the other thing too is you look at guys like Kamaru Usman up until the Leon Edwards fights had never been taken down, had 100% takedown stoppage.
Defense. Yeah, Kobe had that one. They didn't give it to him though. But
they didn't give it to him, but it was a takedown. They didn't give it to him. So it really depends on who's running the clicker. If there is even a person there, and it just comes down. I didn't really. I was watching something else at that time. I didn't see that takedown. So that lets you know right there that there's certain fights that they don't know. Like you said, it is subjective.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is crazy. All the stats that they have, because if you go to the UFC's website or UFCstats.com, you could see strikes landed at distance, strikes landed in the pocket, all strikes on the feet, strikes on the ground. There's crazy stats there, but it's when you realize at the end of the day, it's just somebody deciding what they think is. It's like,
which sucks because that kind of skews the betting odds too.
It'll skew the betting odds, and it'll the story it tells in the future. Like, let's say you don't go back and rewatch the fight. You just look at the stats. If you just looked at the stats of the Rob Font fight, you'd be like, Rob Font got robbed.
Yeah.
Like, look how many strikes this guy landed. And there was control time. This guy got robbed.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and he got to watch that fight. He hit the canvas a couple times face down, ass up. But definitely. And that's like I said, when you're looking at just the stats, they don't tell the full story. You can take from the Henderson fight to the Bisping fight, to that fight, the Rob Font fight. And Cheeto fight is because he landed, like I said, there's not one hard shot, one hard, powerful shot that sat him down, and then he did some more damage after that.
Yeah.
So, it definitely does not tell the full story. I'm looking at the BetUS odds right here. Let me change these over because I don't know what 1.6 is. They always
European
do.
odds?
Yeah, that's what they
That's
do.
minus 140.
There you go. It's actually minus. Yep, you're close. Minus 150 is for Figueiredo. You got Marlon Vera, Chito at plus 120. And you got the over under at 2.5, minus 290 on the over, and under.
Yeah.
Under is 2.5 is plus 230.
The
I mean,
over
they seem
should
like they're
be
pretty-
it's juiced, but it's dialed. Those are dialed in numbers. Those numbers
Yeah.
are all correct. Yeah, those are all correct.
And so if I'm placing that bet, I'm not really trying to put money on this. I mean, if I'm going to take it, it's probably going to go over at the 290, but I'm not putting 300 down.
Yeah, you're not going to lay out $300 to win 100 because they are both dangerous. So that could get burnt. It should go the distance, but 3-1's tough on a fight like that. I actually have that parlayed with Michael Chiesa. So I do need that to go over 2.5 because Michael Chiesa hit and the other leg of that parlay is the over 2.5 on this fight. So I do need it to go.
I look at the speed and activity of Figgy. He's going to be hard for Chito to really get his hands on him, and then Chito's going to he's going to have to land that hard shot. I don't know if he can do it because of the speed and the activity and the movement of which Figgy, brings it to his game. The other thing is that I would agree going to the distance, I think it'll definitely go, but I also think that Figgy can out wrestle him, control him, and Chito has a tendency to just settle on bottom sometimes.
Yeah.
Chito needs I don't want to say miracle, but I think he's got to be able to land the shot, and he's got to be able to, kind of how he did with Dominic Cruz.
I was just going to say a Dominic Cruz
fight.
fight.
Chicken. He's got to trap the chicken into a trap. And I don't know if he can because Figgy doesn't roll like that. He just constantly is grinding, pushing, changing the.
And I think he's going to shoot like crazy. I could be wrong here. I think he's going to shoot like honestly, I don't know how you could be in that division. Watch that knee. It's like one of the most famous knees in the world right now. And it didn't even finish it. He didn't even stumble and then be like, I'll stand with him. It's like, why? It's nothing is going to happen. You're wasting your time standing with this guy.
This is that whole, look at how who does he look like? Figgy. He looks exactly like who? A little bit bigger version of Henry Cejudo. Remember how Henry used to fight?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of leaning back, kind of wider stance.
The leaning back is the exact Henry Cejudo stance.
And how much will Chito kick, though? How much will
he
he
just blasted that calf right now, yeah.
He knows he wants to get taken. He knows that Figgy probably wants to take him down. How much will he kick? There he goes. He just did it right there.
Yeah. Why is Figgy standing so vertical in this fight? Just like presenting the head.
I don't know. I mean, his ability, I think his speed to get in, I think is going to be good. He's can you imagine him? Who's at 125?
It's crazy. No, it is crazy. And that's why he's looked so good at 35 because it's like, and then not having to cut that extra weight, rehydrating a little faster, putting it together.
He was killing himself to get there and just a certain guy. Ooh, nice little exchange there.
Yeah.
Certain guys just, he's got to be careful. Chito with the magic right now.
Chito's walking him down because when you have that, there's got to be a whole nother level of confidence that comes with knowing for 100% fact you're not going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
And there's the first takedown. So there's the next 3.5 minutes will be this Figgy hanging out on top, Chito trying to block.
I might need to rejoin because you're way ahead of me.
I had to click the live. I'm watching on ESPN Plus on the web. I had to click the live button a few times to skip it forward.
Okay.
Yeah, spoiler alert, I guess.
Well, while we're waiting, Mr. Cuddles donated $5. Thoughts on whom the UFC has planned for Alex Periera since the Ankalaev fight isn't happening?
Yeah, Ankalaev's fighting Rakic. They just announced that today. So that's a good fight. But Rakic is coming off of his loss when his return. So I'm surprised that they decided to put Ankalaev there because Ankalaev should be fighting for the title. But which makes me wonder, so Alex is fighting who?
Nobody knows. That's the question. Who do you think he should fight next? Yeah.
Yeah. My honest opinion is I think he should end up fighting. I don't want to see him fight Tom Aspinall. I don't want to see him fight for the interim title. If he's going to fight, he's got to fight John Jones. And that's the only fight that I care to see. John's the champ there. I have no disrespect to Tom. I think Tom's got a great future. I don't want to see that fight because it just doesn't make sense to me. Let's have what he has done. Alex Periera, what he has done since he's coming to the sport. He's like 12 fights in, division champion. And he's just amazing, right? But I don't care to see him fight Tom Aspinall. I care to see him John Jones. I want to see that fight.
I'm glad he's not fighting Ankalaev either. I as a fan, I want Alex Pereira to go down as like the greatest fighter that's ever existed. Be the heavyweight champ. Like I want it to be like the craziest run of anybody ever.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice little scramble on the ground there for Cheeto. And now they're back to their feet with a minute and a half left. Cheeto's starting a lot faster in this round. He's normally he'll give up that first, just trying to find his rhythm.
Yeah.
He didn't give. I don't know if he's going to win this round, but he didn't give it up. He's plotting forward, letting his hands go.
Yeah, I would give right now the round to Cheeto. He was with the up kicks looking good. He landed the harder kicks and
Nothing happened on the ground.
Strikes in the first part of the round. You know, if he ends up staying on track and he can land some big shots in this next minute and a half, minute 20, I think he's got a good chance of making sure to secure the round.
Yeah, well, and it'll be, I guess we'll see what happens with Figgy if he ends up getting a little frustrated and, not having the success he thought he would in round 3. And Cheeto's just standing there walking forward like nothing happened the last 10 minutes. But I'm glad back to the Pereira thing. I'm glad Alex Pereira's not fighting Ankalaev. I don't want to watch him lose a boring, 25 minutes. Like, I don't want to see that.
Here's the thing is, I don't think, look, Ankalaev is someone that can wrestle. He just chooses not to wrestle.
Yes.
I don't know if he could, I don't know if he would wrestle. He came out publicly and was like, look, I don't need to wrestle to beat him. And I'm like, you do. I think.
You kind of do,
actually, you do. So, flying knee attempt. Lift.
Flying knee to a takedown. Yeah.
There's those knees. See, he throws those elbows from the bottom, and instead of trying to work and get back up to his feet, and that kills me every single time.
That was like back in the day. People stopped doing it, but I'm sure you remember back in the day defending takedowns against a cage with these little pitter-patter nonsense strikes. So what are you doing? Dig some underhooks and get your hips out of there. This is doing nothing to anybody.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, they've made those adjustments now. They started switching their stance against the fence and then hitting the Travis Brown elbows. Those things were just.
Oh, yeah. These were nasty. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
I just saw that Rhonda had put out a thing saying that her and Travis Brown now are going to start doing like seminars and speakings together to talk about what it takes to be like a professional athlete.
Elite athlete.
Yeah, elite athlete. So good for them, man. They just had another baby. They had a baby.
No, I think that's they did not have the baby, and I think that was, I could be wrong. Maybe she did have a baby. I thought they didn't, and that was like the.
Oh, got it.
The issue, like we're trying and it's not working, and I just need to do something. I could be wrong.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, what'd you say?
She has a baby.
Yeah, okay. So I was completely wrong. I confused her with Caitlin Chikagian. Yeah, that's called fake news.
Yeah, fake news. Misinformation, yes. The spreader of misinformation, yes. You were great during COVID, huh?
Oh, yeah, all the things. All the things.
What were you saying? You were about to say something.
I don't remember specifically what, but I think it was about the Ankalaev thing where I don't trust what he says, right? Because if you get the title fight, win that title. I don't care how boring you win that title. Your money changes. Everything changes. Yeah, everything changes.
Against Jan Blachowicz. Remember, it ended up being a draw.
That was a fight night main event.
Oh, I thought that was for the vacant title.
No, it was a 5-round fight, but it was the fight night main event.
Got it. Okay. I thought it was for
Am I wrong again? Am I just spewing?
No, I don't know.
George is nodding at me like, I don't know if that's a yes, you're right nod or a yeah, no, you're an idiot. That you're completely wrong.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong, but I don't want to. I got to double check before I just yell at you. You know what I mean?
It makes sense. Otherwise, everybody's just wrong here. Ankalaev.
It was UFC 282, Blachowicz versus Ankalaev. You were incorrect.
It was for the title.
Yeah, it was for the title.
So
I thought that was a fight night main event.
In your head, it was.
It's so weird. The way you speak with such conviction, you almost had me convinced that my CT had kicked in again. I didn't get it right.
It was the same night that Patty and Jared Gordon fought.
The Jared. We were all
the
Darren
Till Duplessis fight too, and Topia versus Bryce Mitchell.
That was oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The Topuria Bryce Mitchell fight was a great fight on that card because everybody's like, Bryce Mitchell's gonna do it. It's like, no, he's not.
I was yelling freedom.
It's like this dude wrestled in Arkansas and he's fighting a Georgian. Like, good luck with with
he thought he was going against a different Georgian. He thought it was like America.
The
Georgia.
state.
He can beat a Georgian's ass from Atlanta for sure.
This is Cheeto's showing some skill right now. We've always known he had the skill, but his willingness to not accept like letting them get in on the hips. Like Figgy's getting in pretty deep, and just the wrestling, he's not turning the corners fast enough. He's not creating the movement fast enough, not getting him moving with his feet. Good work.
His mouth's open too. I think the extra wrestling and not having the actual success where you can't camp out after a takedown, I think it's starting to get to him. He's breathing a little heavy.
What I also find is fighters that when they come up in weight, they feel like they have to throw everything super hard because they're fighting bigger guys. When in reality, they don't have to. They're just as big. That's why you went up in weight. You're just as big. See on that shot, there was no penetration. He just dropped down and tried to grab the leg instead of driving through him and getting him moving. Cheeto with another nice leg kick.
Yeah, Cheeto's just walking him down. This may not go over 2.5. I might get burned on this. It just feels like a momentum shift here. Figgy's starting to slow down.
How'd you score the first round?
Can you hold the mic? Can you hold your mouse over the mic and see if it's coming through your scarlet?
Who, me?
Yes, you, Mr. Josh.
It might be because I'm yelling a little bit much that I'm getting an echo. Yeah, it is coming through my scarlet.
Okay, Doug. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, it might be because I'm yelling a little bit more. You're
getting What's a scarlet?
That's my processor.
Yeah. Oh. You know, fancy guy stuff. You want to know about it.
That is fancy. Yeah, I've just got this thing on the little tripod with a cord.
I need to actually get a little tripod for this microphone because for some reason it keeps getting loose. It's driving me nuts. And this arm isn't quite long enough, so I need to make some adjustments there as well. Who knows? I mean, look, Cheeto right now, just walking him down, being very patient. He's picking and choosing his shots. Having a hard time. What I do like is how Cheeto retracts his leg after kicking. It's very nice. He throws the hard kick and then he pulls it back, almost like an inward kind of pull back on the kick. So it's harder for you to catch the leg and get the double leg or the takedown from there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the scorecards are going to be interesting because Figgy had the takedowns in the first round, but you know, depending on the commission and the judges and you know, does damage matter more? Does it, you know, are we old school in it? Where a takedown means everything, or is this the new school where if you don't do anything with it, it didn't count? So that first round is going to be interesting.
I would give Figgy the first round because he got 2 takedowns.
Yeah. And
he secured the round. The last thing that the judges remember is the takedown, the top position. That's how they finished the round. And he had a takedown earlier in the round too for a minute of control, whatever it was. This round is all Cheeto right now, though.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Yeah, this could definitely be 1-1 going into the third, and the momentum full shifted.
Yeah, one takedown is not going to do it either. Doesn't matter.
No.
He's going to have to hit Cheeto with some big shots to make the judges go, oh, and even still, I think they'll probably have to wobble him, rock him, or do something.
Yeah, because Cheeto's not going to react. You hit him as hard as you want. He won't react. So it's not like you're going to get, you know, a big motion from him. Yeah, and these takedowns are going to be harder to get in the third because he's going to be a little slower, sweaty. A little wetter. Yep,
you're slower. Exactly. You're slower a little. Both of them, though, look clean and crisp. They don't look tired.
Not sloppy. Yeah.
No, Cheeto, though, just bowling him around right now.
This is an aggressive Cheeto. This is an awesome Cheeto. Like where was this in half his fights?
Yeah, because I feel like he just got, like you said, comfortable with knowing like you can't knock me out. I'm gonna walk you down. I got power. The Rob Font thing, I think, did him mentally kind of change the way he approached the game.
It literally could have, because the Rob Font fight and the Dominic Cruz fight almost looked exactly the same.
Yeah,
just getting beat until you're not.
Yeah, I mean, just the speed of Dom had slowed down so much. He's gotten so much older, and just and I said this about Dom the same way I said it about Roy Jones a long time ago. Your style, if you're not young and fast, you're getting knocked out because you leave yourself in positions longer than you should be. You got away with it when you were able to get in, get out, and your movement and your ability to land punches and not get hit was so important. But now as you get older and you're one step behind, the head kicks there, boom.
Especially, well, and that's why the lighter weight classes, they don't age as well. No, because the movement, the speed's the first thing that goes. Chin is second, power's last, but you know, you're not who you're knocking out really. So
lightweights. Nope.
Yeah.
I never had power, so I never had to worry about it.
It didn't matter. You had to take it away. I don't need it.
No. I mean, you got to think about it, right? I kicked Nate in the head with my shin. I literally had an indentation in my shin bone. I could put a golf ball in, and he still didn't fucking go down. He's 2 more times after that.
Yeah, the Diaz's have that Cheeto chin too. They cut easy though, and you were talking about, you know, Tony and all that stuff. For some people, just cut easy too, and others don't. Like some
Very
people
true.
just will not cut no matter what you do. And I think Nick Diaz had some surgery and had stuff put in above his eyebrows so he didn't cut so easily.
Yeah, I know the surgeon that did it was Frank Styles, I think is his name, and he was out of Vegas. He did the surgery, so he actually removed a ton of scar tissue and then put something in there, from what I understand, to keep it from cutting back open. I don't know what it was, or but I know that Frank had did that because he just got tired of, like, he was connected with Phil Baroni. Frank Styles was, and he was connected with the UFC, and so they reached out and said, "Hey, he's like one of the top plastic surgeons in Vegas. It's like, hey, can you please, try to fix him because he's one of our profitable fighters." And sure enough, he did.
Yeah, it's almost a cheat code. I bleed all the time, so go ahead. We'll put some implants above your eye socket. You won't bleed anymore.
I feel like Figgy's just having a hard time finding the range, man. He has no answer. He's trying to throw with conviction, but Cheeto's just like standing strong. And I think he realizes that, look, nothing that Figgy's going to land on him is going to hurt him as long as he doesn't get hit with a clean head kick.
Yeah, Figgy needed to, if he was going, so plan A was the wrestling. We saw that. He's slowing down. He's tired. He's going to plan B, which is the striking. He's lunging in. He's throwing big. But if you're going to outstrike Cheeto, you have to do it the way Dominic, you have to be clean. You have to have great footwork. You got to stay out of there because you can't go punch for punch with this guy.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying right there. Oh, we dropped him.
He is wobbled. Figgy dropped Cheeto.
Yeah, he's dropped him to his butt. Ooh, that's
now you're
like around.
Now you're like 2 seconds ahead of me. Oh wow! All of a sudden, because right before that it looked like Cheeto landed really clean, and then Figgy just fired back.
I think what Figgy did was he started going to the body. Ooh, nice little kick right up the middle.
So the elbows are coming down. Well, there goes the over 2.5. So we're in the clear there.
All right. So I guess that's a question I want to ask you. Is it if once it gets past over the 2.5, doesn't it have to just go to the end of the third round?
Nope.
Over 2.5? No.
Nope. Over 2.5. As long as you get past that 2-minute 30-second mark of the third round, you're good. It's clean. He could be knocked out instantly after, and you're good.
Okay. Someone was trying to explain to me that I thought it had to get basically to go the distance.
No, as long as you get past, because even like a 1.5 round line, as long as it gets past that 2.5-minute mark of the second round, you're good to go. And so this was a 2.5. So we're in the clear here.
What opened up for Figgy was he started going to the body, and the body started opening up the straight shot down the middle. And that's why he was able to drop Cheeto.
Yeah, and he just instantly popped right back up, and it looks like nothing. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Cheeto took back over, and there's enough time left in this round that the judges might forget what happened 2 minutes ago. This is going to be an interesting scorecard for sure.
This has been a good fight. Very technical fight, but a good fight.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to whoever they thought won the first round. And I think that Figgy won the first round with the 2 takedowns and still landed some good kicks and some strikes in there. But I don't know if it'll be enough. That you can't leave this up to the judges. Right now, I've got Figgy winning the third, but there's a minute left, and Cheeto's been known to pull something out of his ass in 30 seconds. Oh, nice.
Yeah, that spinning back kick, Figgy shooting a takedown, not getting it. Those aren't the best optics. Another takedown, not getting it. It'll be this will be a very interesting scorecard. We had a weird scorecard to open the night with a 30-27 for SD Dumas. It's like 30-27. Today's gonna be dicey.
30 seconds. What do you have? 31, 32, 28?
I'm 28, 27. Yeah, I'm right there now.
You're right there with me. He got rocked a little bit again there too. Cheeto did. There you go.
Yeah, it's going to be let's see how this scorecard plays out, and then depending who Cheeto gets next, it might be time to start fading his chin, because once it starts to go, it's going to go. Yeah, I think Cheeto just won this round. I think that big jump knee at the end, a little bit of forward pressure, failed takedown attempts. You don't think he stole it?
Angelo, no way. He got dropped in this round. There's no way
it was all right. Here, the UFC publishes the scorecards. I'm gonna have these ready to go.
All right, you tell me.
I think
it's gonna come down to the first round. They all gave Figgy the
probably.
Third. They all gave Cheeto the second. It's gonna come down to the first round.
I think. All right, we'll see.
Okay,
We'll see.
give me. You have any questions there, George?
Chaz Bono's manly beard says, thoughts on prayers for Angelo.
I'll
Jacob's been
explain
saying
this.
you've been diagnosed with full-blown AIDS.
Yeah, full. Not even the preliminary. So on our Tuesday stream, Jacob was typing as we want picks in the live chat, and he's like, "Hey guys, this is Angelo. This might be my last show. I have AIDS." And he like asked me to read it, and then he just clipped it, and he's just been shipping it everywhere. So that video did like 20-something thousand views, and then like the clips went everywhere. So now I'm getting flowers to the house. It's a whole thing.
You know, it's funny. I have this little joke where I run around. I tell people like, "Hey, you know, the great thing about getting the HIV is you can only get it once."
Yeah. Well, Magic Johnson might get it twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends on how much money you got. I think that's hilarious.
I was wondering if you're gonna. I saw that comment. I'm like, should I explain why the heck they're getting comments about me with a debilitating disease?
I'll get to it. Don't worry.
Oh, that's great. What other question? Well, let's hear the. Let's hear. Can you tell us what the scorecards are?
29-28, 29-28, 30-27.
30-27. Cheeto then.
Figgy, 30-27. Dude, these are weird scorecards, man.
What did you get 30-27
Dude,
from?
these are wild scorecards. 30-27.
30-27. Get the freak out of here, man.
30-20. Yeah, we'll see when it takes like 10-15 minutes, and then we'll see the actual scorecard so we can see
all right, we'll see which one did the damage.
What that 29 was, which round that was. I'm probably wrong because the third is the dicey. I thought that would at least be a split.
Nah, I figured second round was for sure Cheeto though. 29-28 for sure Cheeto, but that was it. First round was a toss. I gave it to Figgy because of the 2 takedowns. Third round was for sure. It was all Figgy. In the third, he dropped him. Once you get the drop, it's all about damage. Damage is first. If I'm sitting you down to your butt, that's the number one thing. Nothing else really significant landed as much.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great performance by Figgy. He dealt with the power. He moved forward. He had some early wrestling success that stopped working for him, and he was still able to move forward, lunge in, close the distance, land some strikes, and make something happen there. So that is, I disagree with the 30-27, but I don't have an issue with the actual outcome.
Yeah.
What else you got for us there, George? Give us any other questions. Hey, you guys hit us up with some questions in the comments there or in the whatever, and we can try to get them an answer to you guys.
MMA Originalist 1990. Hey Josh, old school MMA junkie here. Same age group as you. Question for you. In a different world where cross promotions exist, how does a fight between Vadim Nemkov and Alex Periera go? Thanks.
You know, look, I'm going to go the same way I am with the Aspinall and John Jones and Alex. I think I love Alex a lot. But Angelo, you think you can agree, once you got a little bit of wrestling, I think in the size of Nemkov, he's got good wrestling and the size of him. And he's very fluid on his feet. Are you fighting him at heavyweight? Are they fighting at heavyweight or are they get the 205-pound division? If they're the 205-pound division, I'm going to give it a toss. I'm going to make it a 50-50 fight, to be honest. But at heavyweight, Nemkov doesn't have to worry about the weight cuts. I think at heavyweight, I think he dominates Alex at heavyweight. I think it becomes a 50-50 fight at 205. What do you know Nemkov?
I do. No, I do know Nemkov. I agree. I agree with you because I think at 205, Alex is just too damn big. He's tremendous at 205. Weight cut obviously hasn't been an issue for him. It makes no sense. He's bigger than most 205 pounders, and he's bigger than most heavyweights. Like it makes no sense at all. The biggest issue with Alex Pereira, a lot of people are going to think it's the wrestling. I think the wrestling is coming along real fast. He's with Glover. You know, the wrestling's coming along. It's not the biggest issue with him, and this is going to sound crazy given his success, his striking defense. Like he gets hit. And somebody with some real power that can get to him, that can be an issue going up to heavyweight. I'm not worried about the wrestling. He gets hit more than he should, honestly.
Yeah, Izzy doesn't have one crunch knockout power.
No.
And he was able to put him to sleep. I mean, he had to hit him twice, but he caught him behind the ear. And I get it. And Alex has been slept before in kickboxing too. But it's when you get to the heavyweight division, like you said, he does get hit. He gets hit quite a bit.
Yeah.
He's very good at rolling with it, so he doesn't take the full amount of the shots. But man, all you need. But if a Tom Aspinall hits you, or a Pavlovich, or I mean, John Jones has never been known for the big power. Never been known for the big power.
No.
So
I agree.
I'm wondering, because I wonder if Dana's having second thoughts about the fight between John Jones and Stipe. I think he's wondering, like, hey, look, right now the fight to make is going to be probably Alex Mejia and John Jones. This fight will make way more money. Way more money. I can put this fight anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's going to make a ton of money. So
that would be a nice little upgrade. I love Stipe, technically the most decorated heavyweight of all time. But he's not even 40. He's like 42. Yeah. So, I'd love to see Alex Mejia. That'd be amazing.
This is true. I would have loved to have seen Stipe fight Cain Velasquez.
That would have been, because his takedown defense, Stipe's takedown defense was great, and cardio Cain, like that would have been a great fight for sure.
Yeah, just stylistically, there was no real big submission threat from, and that's where Cain's kind of weakness was a submission game. And I think that would have been, and he really didn't have that weakness. I feel like the submission he got caught in against Verdum was because he was fatigued. The fight was in Mexico City.
It was elevation.
So gassed. Everyone's like, oh, but he's the cardio king. I'm like, yeah. When you look at every fighter who has great cardio and they fought on that card that night, they look like dog shit. And some of them did shit their pants that night, by the way.
Literally,
there was two fighters that actually shit their pants that night. Yeah,
from exhaustion?
From altitude sickness.
For fun.
That makes you shit your pants?
Yeah, I mean, literally, like you start feeling you're gonna throw up. It makes you feel like you're sick, man. You throw up or you shit.
I thought that was from drinking the water in Mexico.
That could be.
It was the altitude.
It could have been from that as well. So this was my dog pick. I went with the
McCall.
I went with McCall. Mikhail. I try to say his name in my video for Bet US.
The last name. Good luck with the last name.
Olasecek or something like that. Yeah,
I don't think it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad pick. I think Shara. We'll find out a lot in this fight. I don't know if Shara is who they want us to think he is, because when he came into the UFC, it was like he's got eyes facing in different directions. He'll knock out a horse. He's fast. He's creative. This guy will do anything to anyone. And then it's like, all right, Bruno Silva took him down. I'll give him a pass on the Bruno Silva fight. Right? He got taken down a whole bunch. But his last fight, yes, they just showed the highlight. He beat Antonio Tricoli. Antonio Tricoli is not a striker. He took that fight on 4 days notice on the other side of the planet. And Shara was throwing like one strike at a time. It wasn't these wild, deadly combinations. And McCall's not going to waste any time. He's right across that cage, letting his hands go.
Yeah. He's also like said, basically like, if I lose this fight, he's like, I'll just put my gloves down. That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself if you lose to Shara. And look, you say, oh, he's got eyes looking different directions. No, he's only got one eye. So it's not plural.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just one eye. He's got one eye looking one direction. But no, he's fast and explosive. He does slow down. He's got plenty of holes in his games. Like you said, we're watching his striking. It looks like one shot, two shot. He's not putting it together like in combinations like that right there against Tricoli. It's like one punch.
You can't go by the highlight, but yeah.
But he's good. He's fun to watch. But there's so many holes in his game that I think Mikhail Olasecek. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, good luck.
Olasecek, I think is how you say it. Olasecek.
I'll listen to John Anik and I'll listen to Bruce Buffer, and then like when I do my breakdowns and stuff, it all just leaves my brain and I just read it phonetically and it's never correct.
Yeah, so what we had when we worked for Bellator, what we had is somebody would the ring announcer, he would get audio of the fighters and then he would basically write it phonetically for us and send it to us in notes. So then we knew how to say it. Like, I got to be honest, when I first looked at Yag Shamiradov, I don't even know what I pronounce his name was Dovlashed Yag Shamiradov was his name. And so we just call him Yags, or we called him, Dovled is what we called him, because he's like, everyone calls me Dovled. I'm like, okay. But yeah, it was Yags, it was Dovlashed Yag Shamiradov. The first time I saw that name, I was like, I sent it over to our ring announcer, Michael C. Williams. I'm like, hey, can you find out how I say this? He sends it back to me. He screenshots it, sends it back to me as a phonetically, and so I could write it down and be able to have it there with me at the desk going into the show. Because I was like, man, there's just no way I'm gonna jack this guy. I'm gonna murder this guy's name on it.
Yeah, oh yeah,
love it.
Yeah, I've been blowing McCall's name all week. I am looking forward to this fight. I think this should have been the featured fight and the Figgy fight should have been the co-main, but whatever. They're playing to the region here, which is totally fine. But I want Shara Bullet to be as good as he's supposed to be. I love domination and plot. Like I want that.
Yeah.
And this will be
it makes your bets a little bit easier to pick.
It makes the bets easier. I did not bet on this because I picked Shara to win, but I'm with you where it's like, I don't know if he's that guy yet.
Yeah.
Like if this was Shara versus Michelle Pajeda, for example, I'd pick him. I think Michelle Pajeda would smoke him.
Okay.
So it's like, let me see that wild performance with a full fight camp. And the last thing I'll mention, so Shara won, it was like 2 months ago. It wasn't very long ago. He won that fight against Tricoli. Then he was at Vegas for UFC 303. I saw him there. Then he filmed a movie in LA. And then now he's fighting here. Like that's a crazy 2 months. I don't know what kind of training he got in along the way and what that all looks like. Because Dana White's basically said Shara can only fight in this part of the world because of the eye situation. So they kind of just like squeezed him onto the card real quick to get him back out there. So there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Well, that's absolutely not true. Dana should know that
100%.
he can fight. And Big John's already come out and said like there's another fighter I think out of like Tennessee area. He's able to fight with one eye. I mean, they've got to go through a process of their medicals, but they're able to fight. He just got to be able to get him over here. There might be other underlying visa issues going on,
Well, and there could be, and Dana's just going on with it. For sure. Like same reason Hamzat can't fight anywhere else. He literally can't leave.
They just announced that fight too. Robert Whitaker and him are going to be fighting. That's going to be over in Abu Dhabi, I think, is what they said. Look, the people who help fund the UFC or who are part owners of the UFC, they want what they want. Certain fighters they want, and they want to see them have success. Umar over there, Islam over there. I mean, any of the Khabib guy and Nurmagomedov, crew that's out of that gym, out of that school, out of AKA, they want to have over there fight. And so don't expect any different from Chimaev. Don't expect any different from Shara.
Yeah.
All these fighters, they want to see their brothers, in person.
Yeah.
They want to be able to see them fight. So they're going to pay top dollar for it.
They literally pay. Don't they pay for the entire card? That's why the UFC is like, right, you guys, this is almost an infomercial at this point. You footed the bill, you get what you want.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look, what they did in Abu Dhabi for the UFC during COVID, I don't think the UFC can ever forget that. That literally catapulted them into this new hemisphere that was able to get them another deal with ESPN going, oh shit, you're the only real live sport going on. And not only just going on for a couple months, but like then all of a sudden when fans did start coming back, you guys blew it up even bigger. You guys were going to venues with actual fans, and sometimes they didn't have fans, sometimes they did, but they were having events every weekend like they had planned, UFC. And then ESPN's like, here's a check. Here's our checkbook, blank check, right?
Run with it.
Let's just do it. So
well, and you could tell, and I'm sure if you ask the live chat here, there's a lot of fans that came during COVID. It was the only sport on. Started watching fights. They never really knew about it, but didn't really watch it. And now, there's a lot of just new fans that were brought in because of it all. So it was huge for them for sure.
You got anything else for us there, George? Any other questions, comments, anything?
Let me search right here for his name.
I think that he's going to get this done. This was my dog pick for the Bet US. This was my dog pick. So I think I had him. What was he at? He was a plus 235. Wow. Shara was a minus 325. And it was the over at 1.5 at minus 155. And the under was plus 125 at 1.5. So I think it goes for a bit. I don't think it's going to go one round. So I think it's going to go on the over, but I actually would have taken this. I took this bet for Michael Olesichuk. I would took him for the 235. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hype in those numbers. Those numbers are built off of expectations and not. We haven't seen Shara be a 3-1 favorite yet over another dangerous striker.
Did you see that fan? He goes like, I'm with Shara. He covered his eye. He covered the one eye. He's like, yeah, with the bullet. I'm with Shara. That was funny.
Oh, that's great. Real support.
I didn't realize how tall Shara is, though. He's a big guy.
They have him. It's funny because I met him at the UFC at 303 and like, you know, talked to him for 8 seconds, took a picture with him. I actually thought he would be bigger. He's definitely big, but I thought he would be bigger than he is. Yeah, McCall's pushing that pace forward.
What time are you at? I'm at 4:45. What are you?
I'm at 4:39. I'm 5 seconds ahead of you.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need to go live more, but I can watch it. I have it on 2 TVs going on right now. So,
I mean, McCall's just marching forward, staying in his face, pushing, pumping a jab, letting the hands go.
Yeah, he just can't. He's gotta be careful. Hesitating after he throws. That's where he wants it. Oh, he's keeping it on the feet.
Yeah, I mean, Shara's using that kick like a jab, and then McCall timed it and just blasted him to the ground.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, see, I mean, who knows? We're gonna see, but I mean, like, McCall was like basically saying, like, hey, if I lose this fight, man, I need to pretty much retire. I wouldn't do that to yourself. That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself.
An undefeated guy that like all the hype on him and stuff. But I mean, he's marching forward. He's staying in his face.
He's believing in his confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, the under at 2.5, the under at 1.5 is plus 125.
There's a pace being set right now. The over should be okay because Shara like very clearly has a chin because he's just eating a couple of big shots, no big deal. But I mean, they're going at it. This is living up to what they said it would be so far. Yeah, Shara really he uses his legs like arms. He's just constantly doing something with them.
That helps to keep the range. I mean, like, look, he seems like a tall guy for the weight, especially over McCall. So I would say probably, yeah, like he's just using those kicks and as like another jab, another range finder.
Yeah, I mean, if there is a finish in here, it'll be on the Shara side. You can just tell Shara's getting pieced up in those exchanges when McCall can close that distance, but it doesn't bother him at all. But McCall, his head snapping back when Shara's landing. Yeah, this is it's a good game plan from McCall. Let me march forward. Let me stay in his face. Let me back him up, not let him settle in.
Yeah, ooh, that was a good knee right up the middle. You can see because
Shara's hands dropped immediately.
Yeah, the elbows dropped in, hands dropped in a little bit. But what he's doing is he's trying to crush that space. Someone's bleeding real bad.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, it's looks like McCall's got a cut on his above his eyebrow.
Nice straight left. Must got hit. There's the kick. Oh, big shot there.
Dude, Shara's got a chin. That's the second time he was blasted in the face because a leg kick got caught, and he just doesn't care. Yeah, this is a good fight.
Ooh, those knees, man. Those knees. That's why I was surprised when that first takedown happened. He didn't just jump into the guard and be like, hey, look, let me just hold you here for a little bit. Let me slow you down. Let me make you work.
Yeah.
Especially when you're fresh. Let me get some of the steam off of you. He's bleeding quite a bit.
He attempted a takedown just now, but it didn't work well for McCall there.
They're showing that little elbow. It was a little tiny check elbow, like where he just stepped in with a step in elbow and just hit him right on the side of the head. Beautiful.
Yeah, this is it's going to be scored interestingly because some of these judges love just the forward pressure. You're getting that from McCall. He is bleeding though, so that's the damage side of things. Like this will be an interesting scorecard, especially after we just saw 30-27 in the last fight.
Ooh, that was a nasty check. He tried to throw the inside. Shara tried to throw the inside leg kick, and McCall just checked it. Nasty.
Turned his shin in. Yeah, that was shin to shin. This is a very competitive first round in a fight that a lot of people thought McCall was going to get sparked.
Nah, he may get caught. Ooh, nice little right hook.
The chin on Shara is just very like he's almost like Cheeto. Like nothing's bothering him, even though he's getting touched.
If you haven't seen Keto George, man, he's got a good chin too. They almost look identical, except Shara's beard is a little bit longer. That's all. He's got a little bit
Fuller.
longer hair too. But you guys, he might be your long lost brother there, George.
You never know. You never know.
No. Ooh, nice. Good little first round, man. It was a good back and forth. It's a hard round to score, though.
Yeah, that's a real hard round to score because especially the blood changes things for sure. So you see the blood and all right, close round. This guy's bleeding. Let me go the other way.
Yeah.
But it looked like McCall landed the more meaningful shots. Just Shara didn't care.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, man, I've seen that look on some of my opponents' face quite a bit, where I hit them with everything I had, and they just looked at me and like, "That's it?
Didn't
Really?
care."
That's
Like,
I was expecting more out of you. I was expecting more out of myself too. By the way,
let me get a do-over real quick. Hold on. Let me do that again. Stay right there.
Like, you stand there, kid. Let me try one more time.
Yeah.
Oh man, jeez.
Yeah, the reset, the game plan in this next round will be interesting. If there's any adjustments at all, or if McCall's like back on my bike, I'm marching forward again.
He's got to get it. This is where I think that not so much a reset. He's got to get inside the kicking range to take away the kicks. That's one. Two is then not getting into the clinch, but also trying to threaten the takedown enough to make Shara a little bit more hesitant to pull the trigger.
Not let him go.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. You got to fight him in that phone booth. So you can't get the kicks off. And then you also got to sometimes get in there and make it grimy. Hang on the head, try to get to the body locks, try to get the takedown. I'm not saying you have to force the takedown, but if it comes easy, he's got to be careful to lunge it in like that.
He just came charging forward to close that distance.
First round was close, though.
McCall's not afraid of this fight. He's not afraid of the power. He's not afraid of anything coming back his way.
No. He's just having to reach because he's a smaller fighter.
Yeah,
you can tell he's trying to hit. He's having a hard time with the range.
Yeah, he has to fully extend all his overhands to get up top.
Well, they're both, one's conventional, one's southpaw, so they're always trying to step on the outside of the foot. They're always trying to like come straight in with the straight left or the straight right. So there's a chance of them stepping on each other's foot. There's a chance of them clashing heads. It normally ends up being kind of an ugly fight when you're going southpaw versus conventional.
Man, Shara is creative. He's switching his feet. He's spinning. He's working elbows, knees, kick. He's very creative.
I mean, you got to think if this fight does go the different distance. I mean, you're looking at the judges. I know the judges are brought in from the UFC. They bring them in from, other states, other areas of the world, whatever it is. But see, I grabbed the fence.
I know he got away with that too.
Grab the fence.
He was picked. His feet were both off of the ground, and that fence grab let him plant him.
Ooh, nice. He hit him with 2 shots right there. Olasicek. I wish I could hear it. Can you hear how
tides are turning? I've been saying Oleksichuk, but I don't know if that's right. Tides are turning here. This is Shara seems to be taking over.
Are they even saying his last name, George? No, they're saying Mikhail.
They're just calling him, Michael.
How are they saying his name? Do you know? Oh, nice.
No, they're just calling him Michael on
the. Michael. Smart. That's what we would do too when we were calling fights. We would just use the easiest name we could. There was another for the Bellator 205-pound tournament. There was another Russian guy that was supposed to be in it. His name was harder than Yag Shamirodov's name, and so he actually pulled out of the tournament like right before the tournament started. I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah,
Thank
nice.
you so much.
Nice. I don't have to say this
like,
anymore.
man, if you advance and you keep going, I got to say your name all the way to the finals. Horrible.
17-letter long name, not one single vowel.
Yeah.
Just K's, Y's, and V's all through the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, some big, heavy shots landed, and McCall still just marching forward. Didn't bother him one. Like, he got wobbled, it looked like, but he just didn't change his game plan up at all.
Yep. So we reached that over
the overhit.
Yep. The overhit, but that's minus 155 at Bet US it was. So I mean, if I'm taking, I don't know if I would have taken the over because I would have thought maybe one of them would have caught him. I don't know if I would have put money on that, but I did take like Michael or Mikhail. I took him as the dog, man. Ooh, nice head kick there though.
Yeah,
he's slowing down now. He's pushing forward so much that he's just now the output's not there. It's just push.
Well, McCall, I don't know how many decisions he's seen, but it's not many. So he's not he comes out hot and fast and quickly fades after that.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, Shara's moving. He's dancing around. He's throwing those kicks, resetting, moving.
He's got a lot of speed, man. He's still
Yeah.
so light on his feet. You know, he's got to throw more combinations. You know, he's throwing 1 and 2 right now, but he feel like he's leaving himself out of position.
Yeah, he trusts his cardio too. Like he is not afraid to move. He's not conserving energy. He's moving as much as he wants, throwing whatever he wants. Like you said, he's not like ripping the body twice, then coming up to the head. It's like a kick, a punch, a kick, a punch. But he moves so much that they're always coming from different angles.
Yeah, Shara maybe lost the first round, but he's winning this second round.
Yeah, he took over this one for sure. See, here you go. McCall caught that kick,
There you
and he
go.
actually turned it into something. So he could potentially steal this round. Depends how close this choke comes.
He's got to steal this.
Yeah, he's just using this as an opportunity to to relax and rack up a little bit of control time here.
Shara doing a good job though with the
Hand control on the
with
side.
the hand control. Yeah.
Yeah, this is all of a sudden it's a competitive fight.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find those scorecards from the last one. See what that sets us up for here.
Well, Shara won this round, even with the takedown. Shara still won the second round. So I would have it. Depends on the first round. We're going to go into the third and find out. It could be 1-1. It could be 2-0 Shara.
Yeah, I believe Shara won this round too. Even that late takedown, he didn't do anything with it. Like he got the takedown, awesome, but he didn't immediately snatch up the neck. Didn't make him. Nothing dramatic happened other than caught a kick and worked it to the ground.
Got it.
Yeah, Davison won the third round on all three judges' scorecards.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm shooting and missing today. I'm shooting and
It's
missing.
all right. That's all right. I know it's hard. It's hard when you're sitting here with greatness. You're trying to get it right. You know.
That's what it is. I'm wobbled to my core. I couldn't boil water last weekend, and today I can't judge a fight correct.
Oh man, that was. I got to be honest though, man. Maybe it took a long time to finally. Let's talk about it. You had a seafood boil. What is it called? Is it called a seafood boil?
Yeah, seafood boil. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a seafood boil at your house, and you didn't. This is the first time you used it.
Never used it. Never boiled seafood before in my life. So
this is the first time you used it. 5 hours in, he's like, it's still not boiling. It's like it's very slowly. It's cooking it in very warm water.
Yeah, it's a bath.
It's great, but it tasted fantastic, and the spice was a little much for some people. But you know, for me, I'm a man, so
yeah. There you go.
But great.
Yeah,
I mean, the lobster tails were bomb, man. I couldn't get enough of it.
I scooped those up from Costco. They were just sitting in that water, so they just absorbed all the flavor.
Nice, man. It was so good, so good. I'm waiting for another invite but like maybe for lunch though. Okay, so we're not there till midnight.
Well, I've returned the thing. I was like, this is obviously broken. It doesn't boil water. I changed.
Oh, it didn't do it.
No, I did it the next day. I bought a new hose, a new propane tank. Still didn't boil water, so I returned it. It was defective. I'll get another one.
But don't you think it's meant to cook that way?
No, it's literally called a boiler. Like it's supposed to be. Every video I watch, this thing's like a roaring boil.
Oh, okay.
And this was just like lukewarm water, and I'm glad we didn't get listeria.
It was good, man. The corn was the hottest though. It's funny
because I was just in there. That's when the women got frustrated. Like, just throw the corn in there. Let's see what happens. So it was in there for 2 hours.
My kids were like, "I want corn," and I'm like, "Yeah, you don't want this corn.
Not this corn. Yeah.
Not this corn." Oh, it's funny.
McCall's still marching forward.
Oh man, this was one of those fights. It could be 1-1 or it could be 2-0. So my dog can still get it done. Oh, that was a nice shot, left hand.
Yeah, he's getting McCall's starting to lean into the power here. He's just throwing with intent now, trying to make something happen. Yeah,
he needs to. He can't be here though. He can't be in that clinch. Ooh,
no.
Nice little kick to the face.
Shara, he can just put his limbs anywhere. Like where he can put his legs at. Like you keep saying, like close the distance, get rid of the kicking range, which correct. It almost doesn't matter. You're in range, and he's still sending those kicks.
Yeah, he's having some fun with it too. He looks
Yeah,
light on his toes. Doesn't look like he's out of shape.
no, he definitely seems like he's got plenty of cardio to continue doing this.
Has a little bit of that. I don't know if you pay attention enough to Michael Chandler when he fights. He throws real aggressively and real hard, and then he takes a couple steps back, takes a couple deep breaths, bounces around for a
Resets.
second, he re-enters. Yeah, it's a total reset. Forrest Griffin used to do it as well. He would come in, he'd throw his combination. You could tell when he get tired a little bit. He'd take a step back and he'd go, huh, and he'd like blow out all of his air, and then he'd come back in and get after it again.
Yeah, I mean, Shara definitely he's got impressive cardio for sure because he's always doing something. Here's your takedown.
Beautiful head kick though off of that.
Yeah.
He's got to keep circling, get the hooks. If he can control him down there, and do some damage, it doesn't look like he can.
No, back up.
Step across it. There it is. Ooh. Come on, dog. I need you to hit, buddy. Come on.
Pull him over your knee.
Yes. Come on.
He's fighting for it. McCall is not a decision fighter, and he's fighting for it. Like, he hasn't stopped at all. He's marching forward, taking the abuse, trying to win this fight.
It's a good fight so far.
Yeah, it's definitely not it's not as one-sided as those odds told you. That's for sure.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Oh. Little's being aggressive.
Yeah, they're putting it out there. I'm curious to see what these judges do here. It should be a Shara fight, but I mean, McCall's marching forward, had that, I guess you can call it a takedown. Didn't last very long, but let's see if he gets another one here at the end of the round.
Yeah.
And he does.
Beautiful takedown.
Just ripped it. He didn't even run the pipe. He ripped the pipe. He just had the leg like, whack.
He should have been doing this from round one. He would have changed the dynamic in that first round. If he would have that easy takedown, anytime you get a chance at the easy takedown, you know that Shara is he's not a world beater off of his back.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to get. See how he's kind of just accepted the position? I'm just going to try to outstrike you from the bottom. That's what you want. You're the one doing all the damage. If you're on top, pretty much it's already in the mindset of the judges that you're winning the fight.
They just showed the significant strikes on the screen. They're close. Shara has a few more, but that's because he's kicking and not jabbing. So they're counting all those as well. Yeah, this will be an interesting. You got to give him a call this round at this point. 2 takedowns, and the last one had over a minute of control time. You got to give him a call this third round.
I don't know. He's getting beat up from the
back
bottom position though. The elbows to the head. I'm gonna go with Shara. I think McCall didn't win the fight. I think they're gonna give Shara the first round and the second. They may have given Olisacek the third, but it's gonna be a close one. He got kicked in the head twice in the third round.
Yeah, well, and he's bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a much more competitive fight than I thought it was going to be, and a lot of people thought it was going to be. Like I had Shara winning. I wasn't fully sold on Shara yet, but I did think McCall would just come in reckless and get caught as he has in the past. But he came in, but it wasn't reckless.
My thing with Shara is that he leaves himself open too much. Like he's got good stand-up. It's good, but there's just too many holes in the game. So against someone that is willing to go ahead and take a shot to deliver a shot. Handling the pressure of someone like McCall, like it ends up being a problem. So that's where I thought maybe sure that both of them could have got caught coming in or leaving themselves open, but I thought for sure that this would be one of those back and forth battles. Whoever was a bigger dog would be able to get it. But if I was gonna look, you got to think it's at a plus 235. That wasn't a bad bet if you're thinking about it, right? It was a close fight. We'll see what happens. I don't think Shara lost. I think they're going to give it to you're in. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he'll get a close decision for sure. Like anything, Ty goes to the runner, and he's the runner because this is his territory. So yeah, I wouldn't see a robbery on that side. Not here.
George, you got anything for us? Anything in the comment section? What do you got for us? You guys, leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you guys are thinking. He looks exhausted, huh?
He does. McCall didn't even make it to get his hand raised.
I think they. Can you read off what the scores are?
30-27, 30-27, and 29-28.
30-27 twice. They just did not care about those takedowns. Yeah, Shara took it. I mean,
Yeah.
correct. So this is now the third or fourth fight today where the correct person won.
Yes.
If he scores though, but the correct person has won.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, like, sometimes when you go to these other countries, right, they bring in some judges that are local, that they're trying to expand their, their judging.
Give him experience.
Give them some experience. I don't know if I'm giving them the experience in the co-main event or the main event. I don't think I'd be doing that, but
not there. No. Yeah.
And I think, but I mean, look, this was by all means, it was not a robbery. The right person did win. I thought McCall lost, but I did think it was a 29-28.
Yeah, 29-28 seems to make sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, Shara's just busy. He's always doing something. It's odd because he's not throwing wild combinations. Even this highlight takes 2 steps to the left, jab, 2 steps to the left, jab. Like it's not jab, right, cross. Like there's not combinations, but he is always doing something. He's moving. His kick is going somewhere. Like he's always doing something. He's very busy. Yeah, good for him. Good for him. I mean, I hope he continues to get these opportunities, keep giving him strikers. Let's see what he does and build him up.
Diaz.
Who?
Did he really?
Nick Diaz, yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Let's leave Nick alone. Nick's fucking 41 years old.
Calling out Nick Diaz. That was like the
Abu Dhabi in October.
42. Come on, man.
The Bobby Green call out was a funny one too earlier. Joel Alvarez just had the best performance he's ever had, like working his way towards a ranking. He's like, I want King Green. It's like, wait, what?
What are you doing?
That doesn't make any sense. The guy who just got submitted, like almost immediately. That's who you're calling out.
Yeah, you got to pick better than that. We're not trying to pick the ones coming off losses. If you're on the rise, I get it. Like if I was him, I would have called, like, who'd he call? He called out Nick Diaz. Call out somebody in the rankings. Give me number 15, somewhere around there.
Yeah, let's see. Middleweight UFC rankings. Let's see. Where the heck are these rankings? Let's see if we can get the rankings for middleweight, who Shara could have called out. So Strickland's at the top. Israel, Robert Whitaker, Nasruddin, Cannonier, Marvin Vettori, Brendan Allen. Apollo Costa call out could have been fun. But if you go farther down.
I would have went further down.
Yeah, Kyle Brala would smoke him. Michelle Pejeda's a decent call out.
Yeah,
Anthony Hernandez, Chris Curtis at the bottom at 15.
Curtis would stand with him the whole time. I would probably go with Chris. Chris is also not a very big middleweight because he's shorter in stature, thick shoulders, but he's somebody that I would have probably seen the call out on.
Yeah, Chris Curtis would be a decent call out. Even Michelle Pejeda would be, but I think Michelle Pejeda smokes him. I think Michelle Pejeda at 185 is that guy. He looks so good.
So much better, right? And trying to make the weight at 70 and then half the time not making the weight.
Oh, he looks incredible at 185. Just as jacked, just as fast. It's crazy. Didn't skip a beat, tons of power. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy that he was making 70 because then you see them at 85 fully filled out. And it's like, how were you doing that? Yep. The jump from 170 to 185 is a massive jump.
It is.
The biggest in the sport is what? 85 to 205, but that one's right there.
The biggest is heavyweight, obviously.
Well, 205, but it's a range. Yeah.
Yeah, the range. Sure. Yeah, but in terms of jumping, going up in weight, it's 85 to 205, 20 pounds. Yep.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with Shara next and what they do for him. I'm sure it will be October because they're going to keep him on those cards. Yeah. But I think Michelle Pejeda has a fight book, so I don't know what they're going to do with Shara, but I'll keep watching him.
Yeah, I think he's got some room for growth in there. I would slow play him a little bit longer because it's sort of been like the Conor thing, right? Conor had 4 or 5 fights that were just against guys that he should have been able to beat. They were all stand-up guys, and he looked good during it. But look, one of those guys in there was Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. Those 2 guys, those were those guys, and so we got to slow play him a little bit. I expect them to give him maybe one more more of a decent warm-up fight. This fight was a good test for him, but let's go ahead and give him one more that's about that same level, maybe a little bit better if you can. But
I agree. I actually was surprised they gave him Bruno Silva so early because Bruno Silva's good.
He is.
And, you know, he's faded
Bruno
a little
Silva
bit.
went the distance with
Poetan. Yeah. I mean, Bruno Silva's good. He's got power. He knocked out Bruno Silva slept. Who's that crazy tough Hawaiian that doesn't get knocked out? Brad Tavares. He slept Brad Tavares. Like, it's like Bruno Silva's good, but so I was surprised they gave him in, and since then it's been a little easier. But they should, they should give him SD Dumas. That guy's clearly phenomenal.
Yeah.
No, that was sarcasm.
Yeah, I know.
How you have somebody's back full hands connected and just literally do nothing with it and let him stand up 4 different times in a fight's crazy to me. But
okay, so let me ask you this. Did you feel like Corey Sandhagen's getting disrespected a little bit? Umar Nurmagomedov is a -350. Corey Sandhagen is a +250.
I think if you just look at the odds, it's definitely disrespectful of Corey Sandhagen to be that big of a dog against basically anybody in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But Umar is such a good wrestler. Doesn't matter. Like, Corey Sandhagen is the better fighter, just the more complete fighter. But I don't think it matters. If you're not going to defend all these takedowns, I don't think it matters. So I think the odds make sense because everybody just thinks he's going to get taken down over and over and over and over.
I also look at, though, guys that have tried to wrestle Corey, not all of them had success, but the knee coming up the middle. Umar is going to have to be and I've trained with him, I've rolled with him, I've known this kid since he was 19 years old. You're going to have to pick and choose your shots very carefully, and it's got to be not at the waist level. It's going to have to be like almost ankle pick level.
Yeah.
You can't afford to dip your head. Corey Sandhagen being 5'11", 135 pounds. Umar is probably in the 5'8" range. Somewhere like that. I posted some pictures of him and I standing side by side. He's probably in that 5'8" range in terms of height. And
and Corey's high fight IQ too. He's not a dummy. He doesn't rely on athleticism. He's a smart guy that knows exactly what he's doing. But I think the other thing that sort of helps Umar is Umar can strike. He's not a desperate wrestler. He can strike, so he doesn't need to instantly shoot. And Corey's a very good striker, but he doesn't have that Cheeto power, right? You don't have to be terrified of what's coming your way. So I think Umar can engage with the striking a little bit, maybe get Corey comfortable, then shoot some takedowns, right? When Corey starts to settle into a flow.
Yeah, I get concerned with the height because Corey's, I was 5'10" and 3/4, and around that time.
That's a nice 3/4.
But then you look at that's us, both of us sitting side by side barefoot. I mean, he's not as tall.
Yeah,
he's not as tall. So he's about that 5'8" mark, 5'7.5", 5'8", somewhere in there. And I always throw the 3/4 in there. That was before when I was younger. I'm probably now a solid 5'10". I might be.
They have
like
him
5'9.5".
They have him listed at 5'8". I tell people I'm 6'3". I'm probably 6'2". But one of my good friends is a scout and for a professional football team. Mm-hmm. And so we were hanging out. And he was like, "Stop telling people he's like, you're not 6'3". I was like, "Yes, I am." He's like, "I am going to measure you the way that we measure people at the combine." And it was like it's not 6'3". I'll tell you that much. It's like, we're done with this. This is stupid. I'm not doing this anymore. We're done.
Yeah.
So
it's so funny. It's so funny though, right? Like you can just it's so funny because like in college, like guys like Russell Wilson were like 6 foot. Then they measured him at the combine and all this. It was like 5'10.5".
Yeah.
Like, his hand size is this size, but then they measured him for the combine. It's like actually a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And so it was just funny that you're saying that. Like, we do the measurements to the T because they're paying a lot of money for it.
100%.
No, if what we're seeing, you're saying I'm getting is what I'm getting. Am I really getting a guy who's 6'6", 245?
Yeah.
With big ass hands and and that can move in a 40 pace of 4.2.5 or whatever it is, 4.28, 4.2, 4.3. No, we're not getting that guy. Reality is he's a lot shorter.
We've been lying for years. Just go off my license. You don't need the measure. Just go by what my license says.
Yeah.
That's my height.
I wish that went well. Millions of dollars. Let me go ahead and just go off your license. Let me just If
it's good enough for the state, it's good enough for us.
Yeah.
But they have Umar listed at 5'8", so he's probably not even 5'8".
Yeah, he's a kind of about. Like I said, when you look at the picture of us standing side by side together, He's about 5'8", because I'm about 2 inches taller than him. I'm about 5'10", 5'10 and a half, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Now that I'm 40, almost 50 years old, I've shrunk probably a full inch by now. My back is all compressed. My discs are nothing now. So I'm gonna go
Tiff
get
said
some.
that to me the other day. She was like, "You're not as tall as you used to be." And I was like, "That like hurt." I was like, "What? What do you mean?"
You
She's
know,
like, "I don't know. You don't seem as." I was like, "All right, get out of here." I don't have shoes on.
I get you can get stem cell treatment done into your vertebrae, right?
Yeah.
And it actually, the way that they do it now, it actually, with the amount of stem cells that they insert into each vertebrae, it kind of gets you back to your normal height. You can
Oh,
gain
really?
almost you can gain almost an inch, inch and a half by getting because you've compressed your vertebrae so much that your bones almost touch you now when you get to 60, 70, 80 years old, right? That's when older people shrink. So you get the injection
and
done
I don't
right
have good
into
posture either.
Yeah, exactly. So you get the injection done right in. I did it into my neck, man. It feels absolutely way better. I can actually look up to the ceiling now. So I went to CPI. CPI also now sponsors all the athletes from the UFC. They have
Oh,
a deal
really?
with the
That's
UFC.
awesome.
Yep. So the UFC sends their athletes to to Mexico now in Tijuana there at the CPI headquarters. Fantastic spot. I also considered, like, when I go there, the reason why I considered going to them was I know the owners, the guys who started, the CPI stem cell place. But on top of that was I was offered to go to Panama. I was offered to go to Colombia to get it done there. The only concern was if I did my neck or my spine, they put you under. Like, you don't know what's going on. Right? You wake up and you could be missing
We took
organs.
out your kidney. There was a problem with your kidney while we were doing the test. So we just took that out for you. You're fine.
Yeah,
we were doing
the injections in your spine, but we realized your liver and your kidney were something wrong. So we swapped them out with something else. Yeah. So I was always concerned. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being, that guy, but I was like, nah, I think if something does go wrong, I want my family to be able to drive across the border, pick me up.
Get there in a reasonable time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I stayed in San Diego, and then CPI comes over and they pick you up in a charter bus. They drive you across, in Mexico. Takes you like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You're in your chair getting your IVs and getting all your stuff done within 45 minutes. So it's weird. They pick you up in the morning at 8:30. By 9:15, you're in your chair getting your Myers cocktail, your ozone. They're pulling your blood. They're doing everything for you right on the spot. So.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. Not like a Turkish hair transplant. Same VIP, but you don't have to go to the other side of the world for it.
Yeah, but I heard they've got it mastered. I heard they've I think who went over there? Was it Cowboy Cerrone? I think's been over there.
Oh, really? A bunch of fighters have had it done, and they're all dominating. That extra confidence they get on the way back, they all look real good after.
Yeah. I mean, because they're probably just out slanging dick now. That's what they're doing, right? Like,
dude,
they got their hair back. They look 20 years younger.
The greatest glow up I have ever seen, look it up, is Damon Jackson. He's a young guy. He looked like he was 48. He got it done. Shows up looking like Paulie D from the Jersey Shore. It's like, what a glow up this was. That's the best before and after I've ever seen. Like, good for that guy. He fights next weekend.
He does fight.
He did it here, though. He didn't go to Georgia. He did it. Actually, did it in Dallas.
Oh, he did?
He said it in an interview because all of them. Yeah, I think he's at Fortis, or he has a Fortis. Yeah, he trains at the main campus, and then he has his own satellite Fortis that he runs.
I got to go down there and check it out because my boy Kyle Crutchmer trains down there with some of the other guys that he brought over from AKA. So they
it's right here. There was some, I don't know his name. There was some fighter I saw. We went to a cheerleading thing last weekend, and there was his ears were all knotted up, and I recognized him, but I couldn't pinpoint who the hell it was. So now I'm like Googling like crazy to figure out who it is.
All right, let's go, Umar. I love Corey Sandhagen, man. He's a technician. He can break down techniques. He sees so many things out there. You see it when he does his evaluations, like on his Instagram or on his social media.
Yeah, super sharp. Yeah, he's definitely a high fight IQ guy, and he knows what to expect here, and I'm sure he's prepared for every bit of it.
Umar's got nice snatch on that. Beautiful snatch on the single. I love how he did it. You want to know why I love how he did it? Is that he snatched the single and he made sure that his head was dipped to the right side. So then it was on the outside, so Sandhagen couldn't bring his other knee up through the middle. Nice job of getting back to his feet. Nice.
Yeah, and I don't think cardio will be an issue for Umar here, but this could be, Sandhagen's got all that 5-round experience, and this is Umar's first, I believe. So,
well, the other thing to take a look at is when Usman and Umar, they are more of a Taekwondo style stand-up. What that is learning how to really use that range and that distance. And so, whereas Corey, he's the taller fighter against normally everyone he fights. He knows how to use his long jab, his long kicks. It's hard to do that against someone who's a Taekwondo guy because they move so well in and out, and they keep the range with their kicks, just like how Corey would with his reach and his range, his height and reach advantage. Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like either one are struggling with distance. They're both still feeling it out, but they're both making their way in when they need to.
Here's a little stat for you though: 64-0 when Khabib's in the corner.
Really?
64-0.
That's crazy. And Khabib's in the corner? Yeah, I didn't see the
Khabib's in the corner. There it is again.
Corey's balancing his way through this single attempt.
Yeah. I think also, too, what you're going to see is even though cardio won't be a factor for Umar, you will see a little bit of an adrenaline dump in the first round and a half by Umar. This is a huge step up in competition. He's ranked number 10. He hasn't fought anyone like Corey Sandhagen's level at all. This is huge. You want to know why he hasn't fought anyone like that? No one will fight him.
They turn him down, for sure.
It's a shitty situation for the fighters that coming out of Dagestan or fighters that come out of Khabib's camp because no one wants to fight him.
And I get it.
Yeah, Islam struggled so much to get guys to fight him, and so finally the UFC's like, look, we're tired of doing this. Let's just give you guys in the top 1 or 2.
It makes sense because like I get not wanting to fight. It doesn't matter how good you are if you're just going to get pushed around and taken down. Then exactly. there goes that. It'll be interesting if Umar wins this fight and Merab beats Sean O'Malley.
He dominates.
What
Merab.
That looks like.
He dominates.
You think he dominates Merab for real?
I think he dominates Merab. I think
because he's just a much better striking, and then the wrestling's about the same.
Yeah, he'll have a hard time with Sean O'Malley because the same reason that he's kind of having a hard time finding the range right now with Corey Sandhagen.
The movement.
It's the movement, and also to just the length. They're not always used to being able to. It's difficult to get the range with someone who's so long, and they use it so well. I think that Corey's the better striker than Sean O'Malley, but Sean is, I think, a little bit faster, and he uses that length and that reach a little bit better than Corey does. Corey's more dangerous with the knees up the middle. He's more dangerous with being crafty on the feet. And as this fight develops more, Corey will start figuring out how Umar's striking is.
Yeah. And we're already starting to see Umar. Yeah. He's faking singles, but he's hanging his head down a little, right there. I mean, eventually I'm thinking Corey might figure that out, and there's going to be a right kick coming right at him.
Well, where you're going to see is right now, this is where he likes to snatch that single on that side. Umar does. Now he's got to make sure he doesn't dip his head too much to come up in the middle, like how Corey was able to catch Frankie Edgar.
Yeah, and we've seen Umar in trouble. In his last fight, he got dropped, but he stayed composed, went back to the well, worked his way through it. And it was actually good to see him in a little bit of trouble. So we know he's not going to panic. Been there before, but obviously, like you said, this isn't a short notice UFC debut. This is one of the best fighters on the planet for the last 5-6 years. Oh, beautiful duff under there.
Nice. Right to the back, get the hook, roll through, control. This is where the length of the body is so hard to control, especially when he starts getting hip high. See how he gets hip high?
Yeah, the grappling advantage is surprising here. Like Umar seems to be, obviously he's on his back now, but he seemed to have complete control of that situation. And as I'm saying that, the round is over. But Umar, once he got that takedown, he definitely started working immediately. It wasn't just looking for control.
Yeah, what I want to see out of Umar, though, is I want to see him sort of pull the hips back. So when you see guys, they get the takedown, they come out, they duck out to the back, and Corey was on all fours. Sit him to his hip first, and like kind of pull him back into you. You'll see like Islam does. Khabib was really good at it. Anytime he got you against the fence, he would suck you back and like pull you backwards.
Yeah,
and it takes away your momentum from stepping up and coming up to your feet. So you sit you back to your hip, and then when you go to sit up, you put the hook in right away, and then you get heavy on them, and you can keep riding them that way. That's kind of what makes them so unique, is that they continue to do that. We're going to find out. Can you hear what he's saying, or are they speaking Russian? Keto George. He's like, huh?
Repeat the question, please.
Did you hear what they were saying in the corner? Were you able to hear anything?
They were in Corey's corner. They were just telling him
Okay.
great job.
I saw them in Umar's corner, but I wonder if they're speaking Russian though too.
Well, maybe.
And it's a different dialect of Russian too. It's not really the same. They all kind of speak Russian, but then they also have their Dagestani like type Russian.
A lot of countries have that. Like my whole family's from Italy. I'm the first one born here, and my mom's Italian, and people from North Italy, it's almost a different language entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Corey was prepared for the wrestling. I mean, he's defending really well. His hips are down, stuff in the head. He's making Umar work, but then tosses the arm, and there are levels to this. Yeah, there are
awesome.
levels.
What a throw by that was. That was spectacular.
That was great.
It's so quick. It's one thing to throw it by, then also to move your feet to get around them. Like some guys will throw you by and be on their knees still, and then nothing ever happens. You got to throw it by and stay. Oh, big left hook though, right there by Corey. You got to throw those arms by and then circle around on your feet quickly to get behind them.
No, yeah, Umar tossed it, had his back inside. I mean, this is what this fight should be. Very high level fight with some success on both sides.
I just wonder how they're judging it, because Umar's he's looking like he's a little uncomfortable out there right now, just a little. In moments where Corey's there's a nice little shot. Corey's settling in right now, and in the late as this fight goes on, it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Corey's having success with that, just step in left hook too. He just keeps landing it.
Yep.
And the tweet they threw on the screen was Henry Cejudo saying that was a 10-9 Sandhagen round.
I didn't know about that. I
know there was 2 takedowns, a couple of grappling exchanges. Yeah.
Not a lot of hard shots landed by either guy, so I probably would have went with Umar on the first round. But I would say right now, I think Corey's kind of
walking him down
in this round. Yeah, he's walking him down. I think also too, when you're a judge, you're kind of seeing who looks a little bit more composed out there. Yeah. I mean, we've seen guys I've seen guys lose fights because they looked exhausted, and they were landing the harder shots and they were doing all the work, but they just couldn't keep their hands up. They were flopping around, falling aimlessly,
the optics
leaning
of
one
it.
side. Yeah. So right now, Umar I think he looks good. He just sometimes leaves himself out of position a little bit more, and sometimes the judges see Corey just looks relaxed. He's out there just doing his thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost Corey's definitely well prepared, and he's almost all right, if he shoots, he shoots. He's not letting the threat of the takedowns prevent him from kicking or anything like that. He's like, I'm going to kick. If you catch it, you catch it, and we'll figure it out in the scramble. Which is the right way to do it. You can't just be wildly hesitant in one of the most important fights of your career.
No, Corey knows what the hell he's doing, man. Like I said, if you guys pay attention to him on Instagram, his breakdowns and understanding the cleanliness of how to strike, how to set something up. I mean, he's good, man. He's good.
Umar's got Corey bleeding, though. He keeps sneaking that straight left right through Corey's guard.
There's that little left hook, check hook you were talking about.
Yeah, he just got him on the step in. Yeah.
This is a good fight.
This is
a really good fight.
If Corey had Cheeto's power, this is a very different fight too, because then Umar might be shooting desperately if he starts to feel some of that power. But I don't imagine he's getting hit, but I don't think he's, he doesn't seem desperate to shoot.
I also look at it too, with Umar. I mean, he's still young. I think he's only 27, 28 years old. He's got so much more. He's just hitting his prime right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
he might be 29 now. I mean, look, I've known him since he was 19, so he still looks like a little baby to me. It's oh.
Yeah, they never get older. I coached wrestling forever, and some of those kids are getting married now, and I'm like, how is he getting married? He's 10. That's crazy.
He's married. He's married with kids. I'm like, you're still the baby face assassin, dude. Yeah. This is where I thought that I wasn't sure about. I know Umar's spectacular on the ground, but Corey Sandhagen's grappling is so underrated.
It is good. There was that rear naked choke for a half a second there looked a little dicey, but Corey worked his way through it. Yeah, I mean, Umar took this round with this last minute of the grappling, I think.
Yeah, a little bit of a threat there with the rear naked. He won this round. Unless a big shot. Ooh, nice little outside trip.
Yeah.
Those are the dangerous things that you're going to get from a young fighter, right? They're going to go ahead and be like, you know what? I kind of feel like I won this round. Let me go for broke right now on something. Let me just see if it works with a couple seconds left.
Yeah, it's this is definitely, this is a great fight. This is a competitive fight. This is a good fight. It's what it's supposed to be. I don't know what there. I'm going to unmute mine, see what they're saying.
You hear it? Talk to me, Goose.
They're telling Umar everything. They're calming him down. Everything's okay. Believe in your hands. Use your hands. Throw more punches.
Got it.
Which is, I mean, what do you think about that corner advice? That's interesting corner advice, though.
No, I think it's perfect because what you have to remember is that everyone's been telling Corey Sandhagen for the last 4 months, he's going to wrestle you. He's going to wrestle you. You're right. He is going to wrestle you, but he's also going to strike with you. And that's what they want to get him thinking. Like, you have to believe that you can be out there standing with him. Don't be so cautious that you leave yourself out of position or you wait and hesitate to be hit. You have to believe in it. Throw when you feel you're landing, keep landing, and then go ahead and mix in the wrestling. Like you saw in that last exchange. They scramble a little bit right before they got to the feet. Don't back away and then get into a stand-up thing. No, hit another wrestling takedown. And then if you need to, circle, then use your hands. When you're fighting someone like a Corey Sandhagen, you can't just be a wrestler. You can't. You've got to be able to mix it up. You've got to be able to have the full mixed martial arts game. And Umar's got it. He's just relatively young and not being able to fight the step-ups in competition that would have made him better or prepared him for someone like a Corey Sandhagen because no one would fight him.
Yeah, this is literally the hardest fight. He has no experience to pull on other than training his ass off. Yeah,
he went from fighting guys that weren't in the rankings to now fighting the number 2 guy. You want to know why? Because none of the guys in the rankings will fight it. And that
is funny. That is a giant leap. That's what happened we saw Shamil Ghazi fight earlier today, kind of walk through Dontel Mays, but that's what happened in his last fight. He went from beating up a bunch of nobodies to here's a main event with Jairzinho Rosenstruck. And now it's like, all right, back down to reality. Work your way up the right way.
Yeah. But that's what happens though. It's like when they don't want to fight when the ranked guys don't want to take a chance and fight those guys. I was one of those guys. I was supposed to fight Pettis for the title in the UFC and then turned around. Pettis gets injured and pulled out. And they're like, yeah, we want you to fight Robotinov. And I'm like, who's that?
Thanks.
He's a Russian guy. He's, a 5-time Sambo champion. I was like, yeah, I think I'll pass. I'm not going to go from fighting for a title to like, nah, I think I'll pass.
Yeah.
And that's how the Benson Henderson fight came about. I was like, look, if you want to give me someone ranked in the top 5, I'll take it all day long.
Yeah.
They actually gave me RDA. And then RDA.
He's huge.
RDA ended up swapping out and fighting somebody else because they offered me the Pettis fight. And then RDA was scheduled. Pettis got hurt. So I said, give me somebody else. Give me TJ Grant was there at the time. That's how old I am.
I know the name. I remember. I've seen I was watching UFC when it was scrambled, and my cousin had the de-scrambler, so we'd go watch him at his house in the late 90s and early 2000s. The live odds had Umar minus 200. So they tightened, but he's still a favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's still minus 200 because this is a very competitive fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they're believing that Umar won the first 2 rounds, or it could be 1-1 if Corey won the first. What was that? What's that they're showing there? Did he get dropped, or was it just a trip?
It looked like a trip on a clash there.
On a clash. Umar's got to remember to stay respectful to the craftiness of Corey, and get back into the wrestling a little bit. Keep the range with the striking, which I'm cool with. Use the side kicks to the face a little bit more.
Yeah, he's continuing the pressure forward. He is taking his time a little more. He's not throwing as much. So I think Corey's winning a lot of, beautiful job. Corey throws that kick. Umar catches it.
Nice job right there. Great job on turning the corner. It was constantly chasing and turning the corner. Great job on getting back to the feet. What Umar needs to do a little bit better in those situations, he needs to start, sagging him to his hip, instead of letting him run away and get back up to his feet. So he's got to sag into his hip more, kind of pull him backwards and try to sit him to his butt, almost like in a wrestling sit-out position. Sit him to his butt, and then that'll make a big difference.
Yeah, make him carry the weight, make him work for it a little bit, get him to plant his arms to try to work his way back up.
Something on those range, yeah. Because once you sit them to the hip, now you can start attacking the neck, and then they got to take their hands off the mat to start defending the neck. And then when they start defending the neck, then you can put your hooks back in. So there's you kind of do levels in chasing submissions and threatening positions. But let me just be very clear. It's way easier said than done when you're in that cage. I'm sitting on my couch right now just telling people how to do this, but it's way easier. So that in a textbook world, that's how you'd want it to happen.
Yeah, at least you've done it. I do it. I preach just from wrestling experience and mid-level jujitsu. Yeah, Umar's not catching that kick, that Sandhagen kick, and getting that last takedown. One or two more of those, and Sandhagen may not throw as many kicks because now it's like, okay, well, this is when he's taking me down. Because Umar's not shooting. He's opportunistically snatching things and running with it.
I also think, look, Corey's so methodical with his striking normally, but I think what you're finding is right now, he's doing the thing, sat him back again. What you're finding is that Corey is normally able to kind of just dictate the pace of the fight because he's so good on the feet. Yeah. Where Umar's not getting tired. And he's like, oh wow, you're not wasting energy, you're not doing anything and you're still in good shape. Corey's doing a great job of getting himself hip high.
He's clearly trained this exact. Every time Corey's been taken down, he Granby rolled and immediately grabbed the leg to separate and get himself out of there. It's happened 3 times now. It's working for him. But he's still getting taken down, obviously.
Yeah, he's still on the bottom. Like even though he's head high, he's still kind of on the bottom though. So even he's the one being threatened a little bit there. But it goes, I guess, I don't know. We're gonna find out how these judges are really looking at it. Corey's safe in that position, but there's no real threat either in terms of submission wise from that area.
Yeah, I think he's losing those exchanges, but he's doing a good job keeping himself out of trouble. It's like the constant movement he's creating with that Granby is just letting him roll through and try to work out of there. I need 2.5 more minutes of fighting, and then my safety parlay hits. I had the over 3.5 parlayed with the over 2.5 on the lady fight. Yeah, so I need 2.5 more minutes, and then the rest of my night's good to go.
Yeah, I went the over. I went the over on this one, but I also took Umar on this fight. If you were a betting person, like I don't bet on my friends. So I'm obviously going to go with my boy every single time. But the play, Umar is now minus 350, and then Corey's at a plus 250 is what I got.
Well, Coach Khabib said he has to get these next 2 rounds.
Well, Coach Khabib is right. Like, let's not go out there.
It's close.
Yeah, it's close. And so let's not say that hey, you need him. Like, let's not say that you don't need him. You need him. We're not taking rounds off, man. We got to get it done. Anybody have any questions in the comments there? You guys are listening to us on this play-by-play. Let us know.
A lot of Corey fans in the comments.
Of course. Everyone wants to hate the Dagestan fighters. I get it.
Someone has a theory that Corey's hand is broken. That's why he's not throwing punches.
I mean, maybe. Corey did change it up after round 2. Round 3 was a very different round than the first 2 rounds.
Giovanni Perez donated $2. Let's go Sandhagen.
There you go.
There's a question a while back, but from Joseph Bellotti. Do you think Holloway will be the toughest opponent Topia has ever faced in the octagon?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it has to
absolutely. He didn't get the Volk that Max fought. He got the Volk that got knocked out, months before that, after Islam. So completely different fighter. But yeah, definitely. Nice work on that. I think Umar's finding his rhythm right now. I think Corey is kind of convincing him to kind of stand a little bit more, which is good. I think Umar's finding his stride. Rounds 3 and 4 when you're in a 5-round fight are the ones that as a fighter you're like, jeez, man, this is like
there's a lot left. Yeah,
there's a lot left. We're in the thick of things, especially in that round 3 when you're done. You're like, okay, there's a whole other fight after this.
Yeah.
If you're used to fighting 3-round fights, okay, I have a whole other fight after this.
100%. And what I noticed, I don't see the broken hand thing. He seems to be throwing his hands just fine. He stopped throwing kicks, and it might have been because the last 2 takedowns were caught kicks by Umar.
Maybe, possibly.
And he'd be just Umar didn't shoot those last 2 takedowns. Caught a kick, ran through it. I mean, this is a close fight for sure.
Very close.
And they both look very good. Nobody can leave this fight being like, oh, that guy sucks, overrated. Like they both look very, very good.
I believe it was the second round when he threw a kick, Umar shot, and it kind of tweaked Corey's ankle a little bit, it looked like.
Okay, so maybe that's why.
Round. So he might have let that strategy go. Corey's corner told him to force Umar to wrestle, make him wrestle.
And I think right now Umar doesn't feel the need to because he's landing the cleaner strikes in this round. He's winning out of the exchanges. If you watch, every time they get done, Corey comes in and then Umar counters. The last thing the judges see is the shot by Umar.
Yeah, Umar's he's not breathing heavy, seems unfazed, seems comfortable, throwing the jab, launching punches.
I mean, you got to think he pretty much did his whole camp in Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, in the same time zone. He came, was able to come there.
Super comfortable.
He's super comfortable in these areas.
He's Khabib's brother or cousin?
Cousin. Usman Nurmagomedov and him are brothers. So you have Umar and Usman, the two of them. Usman is the lightweight champ for Bellator.
Yes.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That's another fight. If you guys can watch his brother fight next, he's fighting a guy named Alexander Shabli. That fight, they should have been in the finals against each other in the Bellator lightweight tournament, Grand Prix tournament. That fight is going to be absolutely insane. Insane. Alexander Shabli, I've trained with him, sparred with him. He came to AK for a couple weeks. Super good boxing. Extremely good kicks. Doesn't kick a whole lot, but mainly a boxer. Almost like a George Masvidal style. With good wrestling and good, just very good all the way around. And then
have they trained with each other?
No, they have not.
No.
They never have. Usman didn't come to AKA until later, as I was kind of like going on my way out. Shabli came probably about 2 years before that. And he was phenomenal. No, nice entry, nice turn.
That was his first like full-blown real shot since the first round. He didn't catch anything. He just shot a double, hit the button.
You see how he's pulling him backwards now? That's what I wanted him to do. See how he's sitting him to his hip? That last segment there, see how he's pulling him to the left? That's what you want to do right there. Is you want to try to drag him and sit into his hip. Now it makes it way easier as they start to come back up. Corey's doing a good job of rolling through to it.
Yeah, he's Gramby.
There you go. Yeah. Put your knee. Now he's got to be careful defending. Corey now starting to become the jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, scooting.
But Corey's got fantastic grappling. That round for sure went to Umar.
Yeah, that was one of the more clear ones. Like these have been razor thin. That was one of the more clear. Umar, I think, got through a few of the exchanges, got through some of the awkwardness, got through, you mentioned the early adrenaline dump probably. It's a big moment, lots going on.
Yep.
Got through that, and now he's just trusts his cardio. He's just moving, making stuff happen. I want him to throw the live here. Let me check the live odds online. I want him to throw the live odds back on there. I'm curious to see what they think's happening.
Trevor told him to make it ugly, go to the body, stop throwing so many looping shots.
Who told him that?
Trevor
Whitman.
Trevor Whitman.
What are they saying right now? Look at Khabib. It's getting right up in his face.
He said just go for it. It doesn't matter what happened. Just go for it.
Josh, you got a $2 super chat question. They said, does Umar get a title shot with a win or Figgy?
I was getting to it, Angelo.
Oh, sorry. I just saw it, and I'm the lead on my show. I'm not _45.
KG what?
AG_45.
All right. What did you do? You gave me a $2 super chat.
Yeah. Does Umar get a title shot with a win or Figgy?
No, absolutely. It'll be Umar. I mean, he's going from the number 10 ranked guy, beating the number 2 ranked guy. Absolutely, it's him. Absolutely. Fighting Cheeto, look, if Umar would have lost, I would say it would probably be between Sandhagen and Figgy. It'd probably be Sandhagen because the UFC likes to give credit to guys that take fighters that are not ranked below them, that are taking guys that are ranked, number 10, number 11, number 12, whatever it is. They'll tend to reward those fighters. They're taking a big chance. Corey Sandhagen's taking a huge chance fighting Umar Nurmagomedov.
So I mentioned I want to see those live odds. Did you catch them on the screen? They had Umar's a minus 1,800 favorite. So like they're I get it. I think he's winning as well, but
It's close though.
Yeah, it was a couple early rounds.
It could be 3-1 or it could be 2-2.
Henry Cejudo said it's 39. So he says Umar winning all the rounds but one.
Oh, so he didn't win round one. It's close, man. Like I'm going through it right now, and I'm thinking that he's up 3-1.
He probably is.
Mm-hmm.
He probably is. He's taking over.
Let's pretend it's 2-2. That's more exciting, right?
Yeah, I would. I honestly would pretend it's more 2-2. But it's weird that we're seeing Corey Sandhagen now start to wrestle. He just shot a single leg.
Yeah.
Which really just threw me off completely. So what is it about about Umar that's making him believe that, like, how come you're a stand-up guy? Why are you not standing more? Why are you not, I thought as the fight went on, he'd be able to start kind of not picking and choosing, figuring Umar out and then landing like a little bit cleaner shots and when Umar made mistakes. But right now, the pressure, the speed of Umar is giving Corey some problems. Corey looks like he's a little winded.
He definitely looks a little more tired than usual. He's moving, but it's not meaningful movement. He's just sort of bouncing around on the outside while Umar's the one making the entries happen and making him work. I mean, Umar just ducked under, climbing his back right now.
Let's also remember, like, anytime you're traveling from here to Abu Dhabi to fight, I went over there and I was just working the show in terms of being an analyst. I wasn't even fighting. And it felt like when I got to the night of the fight, I was exhausted. Yeah. I was like, what's going on? There's just so much. Oh, he's got to be careful. Oof. He almost got sucked into that triangle with those long legs. You got to be careful. You don't get that Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen.
Yeah. 1 minute left.
On. Yeah. I mean, this was a good fight for Umar. Oh. It was a great fight for him to kind of get into the mix of fighting the top level guys. In terms of the rest of the fighters,
from it all bruised up from checking kicks.
His foot, you said?
Yeah, his foot's all blue from checking kicks. It's all bruised.
I can see
up.
that. I will say this too. That's the other thing. Anytime I would spar Khabib, I tried to avoid kicking him to the body because for some reason, just feels like the bone density, those type of things hurt a lot more when I kicked his elbow.
Oh, really?
Somebody else's elbow. There was another fighter, Gray Maynard. Anytime I kicked him, it didn't matter if it was his leg, his hip, or his elbow, it didn't matter. I felt like it hurt me more than it hurt him. It's funny. You'll hear stories like Robert Wicker said the same thing about Yoel Romero. He's like, and so did Luke Rockhold said the same thing about Yoel Romero. He's like,
just everything hurts.
Every time I kicked him, even when I kicked his quad, it felt like I was kicking a metal pole. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, some people just built different. The picture that they just had this past week with Islam and Bilal next to each other, dude, Islam is so much bigger than Bilal. It's crazy. Dude. They look like the weight classes are reversed. It's crazy.
Yeah. Bilal's not a tall guy, but he's thick. And he's got really big legs and like an ass. Yeah. And Islam is tall, but he sheds his weight or keeps his weight so lean and clean for the majority of the times. Now, when they put on weight between camps, it really is a little bit more muscle. They still lift, they still run, they still do all the stuff that they're supposed to be doing. I think and I've continued to say this on our podcast with John, is that they don't have any outside distractions. They're not at the nightclub popping bottles.
They live like professional athletes should be living.
Like professional athletes that are married and have kids and understand what their goal in life is to be the best and provide for their family and no outside distractions. If it doesn't involve them making money and doing all this, then they don't want to do it.
Well, and it makes sense because there's a small window. It's not the largest window here. There's a small window to make the money, do something with your career. So you want to waste it on booze because you got famous and it's fun to hang out.
Yeah, everyone pretty much had it 3-1. There was a couple that had it 4-0. Umar. There was one person that had it 3-2. I'll put it out on Twitter. I mean, it seems like everyone agreed that it was 3-1. I didn't have it. I gave Corey. I can't remember which round. I gave Corey one of the rounds, but
I forget which one too. It was an earlier one. It was an earlier one for sure. Well, and it is funny to see the dynamic because I imagine in Corey's camp leading up to this, it was if you get taken down, make him work, get back to your feet. We want to strike with this guy, and then he got that fight. and
Yeah.
it didn't go his way. He got the fight that I'm sure he wanted because
You
they
see
were striking the last couple of
significant
rounds.
strikes, 91 to 64.
Yeah.
Umar, 46 distance head strikes, 46 to 20, 5 takedowns, and the ground control time was 4.5 minutes for Umar. Overall, great performance. I thought the rounds could have changed at any moment with one solid significant strike for Corey Sandhagen, but I had it 4-1 for Umar. But like these fights are so close, man. Let's hear what they are. Look at, you see them in the back. You see Usman in the back. That's his brother on the right. Khabib there.
50-45, 49-46, 49-46.
There you go.
50-45. Wow.
That's a little bit of a
yeah. There's a couple of those. What's the hair mean? The wig.
It's basically like what they wear during the winter there to keep their heads warm.
Gotcha.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just really like it's what they wear in their village in Dagestan to keep their heads warm during the winter. It's called what's it called? It's called like a pampuka or something like that. I think it's like a pampuka or anyways, it's something like that. Yeah. Good dude, man. Good stuff. Great.
Yeah, that was a good
18-0. Can't believe it. Khabib goes 65-0 now in the corner.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Was he in Leon or not Leon's corner? Was he in the corner last week too for Bilal?
No, he was not. No, he didn't work with Bilal for this fight. I mean, they had a couple of exchanges at the fight in Jersey. They kind of, he got to train with the Dagestan guys, Islam and those guys all out there in Jersey. But outside of that, no, he only trained with them for the fight before that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, for some reason I thought he was all in.
Got it.
With that camp. This was a good fight. This was a good fight. Honestly, this is probably the best way for Umar to win this fight. Meaning, if it was just 1,000,000 takedowns and that's what it was, then he's the new Muhammad Mokaev, right? And they might be like, he's boring, but he wasn't boring. He was winning striking exchanges. He won the grappling exchanges like that. That was as well-rounded of a performance as you could have possibly expected from Umar.
Absolutely. All right, hey guys, we're going to wrap this up, and then I'm going to go ahead and film the next show with Big John. He should be jumping on here soon. But Angelo, man, thanks, man, for jumping on, brother.
Thanks for texting me and having me on.
Absolutely. We're definitely going to keep doing this a little bit more. And we want picks. You guys go over to their channel. We want picks. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. They do some great betting odds over there. And but you know what? We run over here with BetUS. He does BetUS also. But look, go ahead and hit him up at We Want Picks. If you guys don't like what I have to offer, you guys can check them out too. But this is fun, man. Look, I enjoyed this a lot. And thanks, Angelo. I appreciate it, bud. And make sure you guys go over there and subscribe to him. Any last words, my man?
No, thanks for having me. Genuinely
Always.
Appreciate it. It was fun to chop it up. And now I can actually see my family for the first time since 11 a.m. today.
All right, guys. Hey, man. Thanks. Peace out, guys. See you later.